The place to be in Birmingham, Alabama is Legion Field. The bands have arrived. The tailgate grills are smoking. The fans are here, and they brought their dancing shoes. College football plays here. It's the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge in the Magic City. And it's brought to you on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma. Kickoff weekend on ESPN2 brings us to Birmingham, Alabama. It's the second go-around of the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. This afternoon, the best matchup you will find in black college football. Two 11-win teams from 1 year ago. The Grambling State Tigers of the SWAC against the MEAC's own Hampton Pirates. So glad you could join us here at historic Legion Field alongside my partner, Brian Kinchin. I am Eric Collins. Jay Walker will join us in just a couple of moments. Well, 1 year ago, the Hampton Pirates, what a special season they had. They won their first 11 games of the year. And this year, they may be just as loaded. Returning is last year's MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, Alonzo Coleman.
Well, Coleman is the key to the success of the Hampton offense today. And if he can have a good day playing, he will relieve a lot of pressure on that unit as a whole because they have a new scheme, the spread offense, brought in by offensive coordinator Chris Beatty, who was in high school last year. This is his collegiate debut today.
Now on the other sideline for the Grambling State Tigers, they won 11 games a year ago. But this week has been a very difficult one for the program. Starting quarterback Brandon Landers had his younger brother, 18-year-old Frankie Landers, shot and killed just 8 days ago in Monroe, Louisiana. Now, Brandon Landers has practiced the entire week, and he will play today.
He will. He's had a very, very traumatic week. I mean, nobody would ask that of anyone, and he knows he has to play football today. He has big shoes to fill. Bruce Eugene was Grambling's offense. Melvin Spears wants a more balanced attack now. He still has to show up and play for them to have success today.
All right, we're ready to play football. Melvin Spears, now in his third season as the head man with the Grambling State Tigers, looking on with those, well, the obligatory sunglasses. And he's actually going to need them today. He wears them for night games, but he will need them today as it is a hot one here in the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. Grambling State, they will kick the ball off. The Hampton Pirates, they will receive. And we're off. The kick is a high one. It's a deep one. And we're going to take it out of the end zone. Kevin Teal with the football, and he brings it out across the 20-yard line. Ambitious attempt for the youngster.
Surprising, the 1-inch tee this year, new rule, going down from 2 inches. He still gets it deep, still brings it out.
There's the starting signal caller for the Hampton Pirates, Princeton Shepard, now in his third year as the starting quarterback. He is very good at managing a game, but Brian, this year he'll be asked to win games with his arm.
Well, he's going to be asked a lot of what he's got to do. He's got to have to be able to call this offense from the line of scrimmage, adjust protections. He's going to have to make things happen for this thing to work.
First play from scrimmage. Ball on the 21-yard line. Little trickery coming around the left side. That's Alonzo Coleman. And Coleman into the secondary before he spun out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, a pickup of 16 yards.
But we had been warned somewhat about it, some kind of a tricky play out the gate. It's the illusion of the reverse. It works just as effectively.
There is Alonzo Coleman. He has never not rushed for 1,000 yards in his collegiate career. He's a senior, and he has 3 1,000-yard seasons next to his name. They're going to mark the ball at about the 38-yard line. First down at 10. This is the champion from a year ago of the MEAC, the Hampton Pirates, taking on the SWAC's champion from a year ago, the G-Men of Grambling State. And Shepard wants to throw for the first time in 2006. Has a man. Pass is incomplete, looking for Marquay McDaniel. Looking for a big chunk, and they come up empty. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the backs and receivers, the skill position players for Hampton. We talked about Alonzo Coleman, but they got another game breaker in Marquay McDaniel. Last year, he was second team, all MEAC. Ernie Lomax is a tight end with a lot of different skills. Up front, there is some uncertainty. 3 new starters right in the middle of that line. Conley, Smith, and Lamar all getting their first ever collegiate starts.
And they will be the key today to getting the ball moving on the ground, which is the key to any offensive success anywhere in the country.
Fullback Curtis Lewis in motion, moves over outside the left tackle. Empty backfield. Shepard, little quick screen. Pass is complete to Andre Jones, and he gets close to first down yards. Pickup of 9 or bring up 3rd and short for Grambling State. This is their defensive lineup. Remember, they're missing Jason Hatcher, who's the 3rd-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys and who's been sensational so far in camp. Nixon, Williams, Matthews up front. Linebackers, that's the strength of this team. Dimitri Carr, an all-everything linebacker, first-team All-SWAC a year ago. And in the defensive backfield, Greg Fassett, one of the fastest players in all of Division I football. All right, 3rd down and short. Back deep, it's Alonzo Coleman. They give him the ball, and he is stunned. Dropped for a loss. Loss of 3 on the play. Heck of a play by David Hicks to disrupt that play in the backfield.
Well, Eric, I think this is one of the downfalls of the spread offense in 3rd and short. Instead of going to a classic short yardage offense with tight ends and an I backfield where you can get the ball downhill, you're just running sideways, and it's not very effective when they have guys in the front that are 6 or 7 up in the box. It's just not going to work.
Jamal Blanchard, just an 18-year-old freshman. He will come on and punt his first collegiate punt. And in warm-ups, he looked like he's going to be a good one. And there's a good spiral inside the 15-yard line. Ball advanced out to the 20-yard line. And that is where Grambling State will take over on offense. Brandon Landers, his first start in over a year. 2004, Bruce Eugene was hurt out for the entire year. So Brandon Landers, as a true freshman, started the entire season. He was named the SWAC Freshman of the Year, but he was inconsistent. Both those 18 touchdowns, he had 15 interceptions. This year, this team is his, and they need him to be more consistent.
Well, Coach Spears wasn't real confident in the way he grasped the offense a couple of years ago. He feels a lot better with him today after 2 years, one of redshirting, watching Bruce Eugene run this offense firsthand.
We will see this a lot. Landers starts in the shotgun. And before we can get the play snapped, there is a whistle.
The rules change. Maybe the delay of game that we've been talking about, spotting the football.
Play, first down.
If you're just watching your first college football game this year, the clock is started the minute the ball is spotted on the ground as opposed to being snapped. Backs and receivers for Grambling State. Tolbert and Edwards a year ago, both over 1,000 yards in receiving. Ab Kwan, he will carry the majority of the mail. He rushed for 891 yards 1 season ago. First down at 15, pressure. Landers throws it up for grabs. Nobody home, looking for LaKeldrick Bridges, the transfer from Georgia Tech. Up front, these are the men who will be entrusted to protect the sophomore Brandon Landers. These guys are huge. Derek Governor checks in at 305. Everett checks in at 330. Combined, the 5 linemen, they average 331 yards per player.
And they've lost weight in the offseason.
Yeah,
that's
and Andre
scary.
Bennett probably lost the most weight.
That is a scary thing.
He weighed 415 pounds a year ago. He's down to 350, and they say he's now a pro prospect. Landers again wants to throw. Again looking for Bridges, and this one is high. Defensively for Hampton, this is how they line up. Marcus Dixon at one end. Ryan Langford, he's the bookend. Vernon Bryan, he can plug up a lot of gaps as the nose tackle. The linebackers, they are so smart, their defensive coaches say. That's why they can have a very complex defense. Justin Durant, an exceptional linebacker. Last 2 years, he was the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year. And in the backfield, great corners who will need to be great today against this wide-open offense of Grambling State. Bain and Bannister can run with anyone in 1AA. Third down and long, and Landers is swarmed, and he is down at the 8-yard line. Sack on the play was Marcus Dixon, the first man to him to bring him down. So Melvin Spears' offense on a full retreat on that possession.
Well, with an odd man front defense like Hampton has, bringing pressure is going to happen. Linebackers will come. We'll see them all day. They have brought no less than 4 and 5 guys every play on that last series.
On that play, on that drive, they lost 11 yards. There's Tim Manuel getting ready to punt it away from his own end zone. Marquay McDaniel is going to run up and let the ball roll. It's going to get a couple extra yards. It'll be down at the 45-yard line. 46-yard punt. Well, joining us for today's broadcast is former all-everything quarterback for the Howard Bison. He played in this MEAC, Jay Walker. Jay, what's going on down in the field?
Well, Eric, the two coaches took two different approaches to this game. We all know the magnitude of the game. You got two defending national champions going head-to-head. But for Coach Taylor, he told his team, hey, it's more business as usual. The team that plays more conservatively, protects the football and tackles well, will walk away with a victory. On the other hand, Grambling State head coach Melvin Spears, he said this game is bigger than you all guys. This game is about 80 years of tradition and legacy of the Grambling State Tiger program. We'll see who's victorious today. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jay. Well, some more trickery. And a man wide open. It's McDaniel. McDaniel on his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Hampton Pirates. 55 yards on the throw and catch. So the Hampton Pirates wasting no time. The handoff to Coleman. They toss it back to Shepard, who finds a streaking McDaniel wide open. You're so used to seeing that quick strike ability with Grambling State, but so far, it's coming from Hampton. Andrew Paterini, all MEAC kicker with the extra point, and it's a 7-0 Pirate lead. Well, how about that? Marquay McDaniel. Hardly enough time to catch his breath. Wide open. He scores his first touchdown of the year.
Your new car, the ride of your life. You haven't even made a dent in the payments. And it's gone. With new car replacement from Allstate, if your car is totaled in the first 3 years, you can get a brand new car. Not just the depreciated value. It's time to make your world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
Number FRWG 7375. You're getting a ticket.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
Before I started college courses, I charted these courses.
See, we're on course, on track.
Before I got my electronics business underway, I got these underway.
Bridge, this is main control.
The Navy got me the money I need for college.
And gave me an accelerated course to my business.
Before I start my own practice out there, I'll get the practice I need here in the Navy.
Navy, accelerate your life. If you haven't discovered the miracle of fusion, it's time you did. Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure caused irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure, with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over. A precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, plus the precision of 1. The best shave ever in manual and battery powered. Gillette guarantees it or your money back. Gillette Fusion.
Marquay McDaniel, 6 touchdowns a year ago. He's got 1 touchdown so far in the first 5 minutes of the 2006 season.
Well, as we look at this play, he tosses the ball to Coleman, who's on a sweep-like play, yet he comes back and takes it out of his hands and fools the entire secondary as Marquay McDaniel just breaks free down the football field for an easy completion for a touchdown. That's like taking candy from a baby right there, and I'm sure Grambling's looking at with a little bit of an embarrassment on their side. He pays for the price on this throw right here, right in the mouth. But it goes with the job, doesn't it, Eric?
Yeah, it does. He'll take it, too. Anytime he can get a 55-yard strike to Marquay McDaniel, it's worth the pounding.
That's pain and glory all in one thing. One play.
Paterini kicks it off. Back deep. Keontaine Gray with the football, and he streaks across the 20 before he is level. Oh, my, some hitting going on early in this game. The Hampton Pirates feeling good defensively. Now college football's kickoff weekend continues with 2 games on ESPN. First at 5:30 Eastern Time, the Cal Bears face a tough road test against the Tennessee Volunteers. Then at 8:45, it's USC against the Arkansas Razorbacks. This game's on ESPN and ESPN HD. Run on first down and barreling across the 30-yard line. Pickup of 11 yards. That's Ab Kwan, his first carry of the year. Ab Kwan makes a couple of guys miss. A little bit of shake and bake, and he's hard to take down. He gets out close to the 38-yard line. A hard-earned 6-yard gain. Travaris Bain finally hangs on and brings him down. Probably ran about 20 yards, Brian, to pick up 6.
Well, that was all on Kwan. They're having a very difficult time offensively for Grambling because Hampton is bringing everybody. And it doesn't matter what down or distance it is, they're bringing everybody. And even the running game is getting shut down. He's having to make things happen on his own right now.
Well, Grambling goes quick to the line of scrimmage and a flag flies. Looks like it's going to go against Grambling State.
False start by the offense. Substitution infraction by the defense. Penalty is all set.
So offsetting penalties, ball will stay where it is. And right now, Melvin Spears not too pleased.
Yeah, he can't be real happy right now. I know he's kind of on his heels wondering what just hit them. They've got to be able to get something going offensively. It's on Landers right now to get this thing working. They've got to relieve some of the pressure of their defense because they don't seem to be responding real well to the New Hampton scheme.
Second down and 4. It's Ab Kwan in the backfield with Landers. Going to throw. Landers looking for his first completion of the year, and he's still not going to get it. Going deep, looking for the all-everything receiver, Henry Tolbert. Pat Preston on the coverage. Landers is now 0 for 3. Well, Hampton, very good defensively. If Grambling wants to stay in this game, they need to score some points because it's going to be hard to come by against this very taut defense for the Hampton Pirates. Last year, the numbers they put up were fantastic. Second in 1AA in points allowed, giving up just 14 points per game.
Well, for Grambling, they took a shot there on 2nd and 4. I don't mind that. But the problem is that they haven't given Landers anything short and underneath to get his confidence going, to get his wheels rolling, so to speak.
4 receivers in the game. Landers needs 4. And they're going to get it. Clyde Edwards with the catch, picks up 5 yards, and the chains will move for the first time on the year for Grambling State.
Well, there's the throw I was just talking about. The short little completion. Give him some confidence. That goes a long way for a young quarterback who's trying to get his feet underneath him and find his way.
Once again, Grambling State quick. Get out of that huddle, go up to the line of scrimmage, and not much doing there. A loss of 2. Alden Blizzard got in there and brought down Ab Kwan for a loss of 2.
Well, I think a key player we talked about earlier, number 97, Vernon Bryant. He's their nose tackle. He's a 2-gap machine, according to his defensive coordinator, Jerry Holmes. And 2-gap machines are an answer to prayer for defensive coordinators.
Quick toss out right side. Pass complete to Tolbert. His first catch of the year, and he makes it worth his while. Inside the 30, brought down by the shoelaces at the 25-yard line. That was almost 6. Pickup of 33 yards before the tackle's made by Calvin Bannister.
Well, when we talked to him yesterday, he played running back when he first got here at Grambling State. He said that has given him a whole lot of tools to work with in the open field, and that's where he feels like he is the most dangerous, is after the catch, the rack yardages.
He had 19 touchdowns a year ago. Fumbled exchange. Landers has to flop on it.
I think I need to explain rack. Run after catch.
It's early in the year. We're gonna we gotta go back to the basics.
I just didn't know.
What's your philosophy on young quarterbacks, or at least a quarterback who hasn't played in basically a calendar year?
Well, I talked about it just a few plays ago. Short, intermediate throws. Get him moving. I love boots, screens. Those are things that are kind of lost in today's game, especially with a spread offense. But those, to me, are bread and butter, especially a guy who's trying to get his wheels underneath him right now.
8th play of the drive. Pass is complete. Right side, another first down. LaKeldrick Bridges, his first catch with the Grambling State Tigers, a pickup of 16. Marlon Fair finally pushed him out of bounds. But Melvin Spears' bunch knocking on the door. You think this is a good style of play, at least the speed of it for a young quarterback, not huddling up?
Well, for me, I love it. I love to see the ball move around. I don't like to see wasted time. It's a very difficult thing to do, especially early in the season.
Corner of the end zone, incomplete.
Because it works your personnel very, very difficult. It's hard. The conditioning of these athletes, as much as they've worked, does not matter. Game time situation, game pace is completely different than practice. And you notice how he got bumped out of bounds there. He didn't get a whole lot of separation from the cornerback there, but not a bad decision. Grambling needs to put points on the board. They need to relieve that deficit early on. I'm sure Coach Spears is down there, as we can see those shades. You can't see those eyes, but he's got some worry, I'm sure. But I'm sure he's a lot happier with what he's seeing now on the field.
2nd down and 10. Landers with time to the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Looking for Tolbert. And once again, Landers ends up on his back.
Well, I know that's not good for a young quarterback, an old quarterback. I don't care who you are. Taking shots like that is no fun. Oof, that's right in the mouth.
He talked about Vernon Butler being a guy who likes to plug the gaps. He's good on the run game. But Vernon Bryant showed a little pass rush there. Maybe they forgot about him.
Well, I was talking about him earlier, talking about the 2-gap. What that means is, as the center's on him, he's responsible for the gap to his right and the gap to his left. He plays it all, and it's up to him to stop that running game and to shut it down. Obviously, does a great job there in pass rush, but they're putting pressure on him. They know that they can. They are whipping up on this young offensive line.
3rd down and 10. 11th play of the drive. To the end zone. Touchdown. Grambling State. Clyde Edwards. How about that for getting up off the mat? Brandon Landers. An 11-play drive culminating with an 11-yard touchdown. Edwards, 10 touchdowns a year ago. One so far today. The junior from Houston, Texas, making it happen. Emmanuel saw him punt a moment ago, kicks the extra point. No problem. And just like that, we're tied at 7. 6:38 remaining. Both teams maybe getting those butterflies out of the way. They don't score on their first drives. They both score on their second possession.
Introducing new Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream. So rich, so creamy, with a hint of raspberries. Once the creamy taste gets a hold of you, you won't want to let go. Get your hands on new Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream and get buried in cream.
There's a place where the very spirit of golf resides. It's found in every pond. It's found in each manicured bunker. It's found in Alabama. The new Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa on the famed Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Located just outside Birmingham. It's a world-class golf resort that's not a world away.
Spending limit? Who cares?
Not us, cause them ain't on credit cards.
Sure ain't.
Them motorcycles was expensive and fast.
And loud.
Oh yeah, them bikes be like wah.
No, like.
They went like wah. Sound good cause they free. Shoot. Yeah, shoot.
Citi Identity Theft Solutions. Talk to a real person to help get your life back. Free when you get a Citi credit card or Citibank account.
Hey, my man, I hope you taking notes. School is in, and I'm the teach you. I'm about to take you to the hole and drop you off.
Ooh, looks like somebody missed snack time.
Get back to your senses with a new way to snack. McDonald's Snack Wrap. Tender, all-white premium chicken breast meat with lettuce, cheddar jack cheese, and ranch sauce in a soft flour tortilla.
You came here. You ain't got nothing. You too small in your face. Whoa.
Next, you with the snack wrap. You want some?
Grambling State, a team in need of a jolt of confidence. They sure got it. Touchdown pass, Brandon Landers to Clyde Edwards.
Well, Clyde Edwards does a fantastic job against an all-MEAC performer in Bain, #1, and just smokes him out the gate. And you cannot recover in a small space like that. And he does a fantastic job, Landers, of getting the ball, laying it out just perfectly for the touchdown. You see the move right there, a little shake and bake. And there's the cake.
And he didn't do that against chopped liver.
He's eating it right now.
Yeah, Travaris Bain, one of the best cornerbacks in the MEAC, if not all of 1AA. And
well, speed is great, but if you're in bump and you can't bump, it doesn't do you much good because you can only recover so much on a guy with the speed like Edwards has.
Kickoff will be returned. Kevin Teal, his second return of the game. And he is spun down at about the 20-yard line. Let's go to the studio now. Brian Kenny is standing by. Brian?
Eric, thank you very much. Actually here live in the ESPN screening room. This is our new base of operation. This is where the actual work is done to bring the viewers the action from out opening weekend. And now here we just move the cameras in and we're ready to take a look at the defending national champions. Let's start off with Texas and North Texas. Longhorns without Vince Young, Colt McCoy to Lyman Swede. First career touchdown pass. Swede doing the work here. 60-yard touchdown pass and catch. 7-zip Texas, Eric.
Thank you, Brian. Those Texas Longhorns. What a season they had a year ago. This is just their warm-up next week. They got Ohio State down in Austin.
Doesn't get easier. Sure.
Man in motion, Marquay McDaniel. And they give it to him. McDaniel coming around the left side. He is brought down by his collar at about the 30-yard line. Pickup of 8 yards. Joshua Bester is the man who brought him down to bring up a second down and short. There is Joe Taylor overseeing some good football down in Hampton. He liked that last drive he just saw. One play, 55 yards. Pitch and catch, Princeton Shepard to Marquay McDaniel. But Melvin Spears, his bunch, they answered with a drawn-out 11-play TD drive. Clyde Edwards, the touchdown catch from Brandon Landers. In the backfield, Alonzo Coleman makes one man miss before he's brought down close to first down yards.
Well, the big hit that they had on the first series, the long play, that's great. That's a trick play. That's not offense. You have to be able to consistently move the ball. We look at what Grambling State did. They took the ball and marched it methodically down the throat of Hampton's defense. That's demoralizing for any defense, no matter what time of the game it is. And Hampton needs to establish that same kind of a series right here and just chip away, plod away, and get a touchdown out of this or some points out of this, or at least field position, because it can't come down to that, and you just never know. I know there's going to be a lot of points scored today. There's no question about that. These are offensively minded teams, but they need to establish something here on this drive.
Well, they just eyeballed that last measurement, and they're going to say that he had enough for the first down. So the chains will move. Fresh set of downs for the Hampton Pirates. Princeton Shepard, once again, that new offense throwing it all around the field. Passes complete to the tight end, Ernie Lomax, and Lomax picks up a first down. Gain of 11 on that play.
Well, I like play action. They do a good job of faking the run, opening up out wide. Nice completion, safe completion. It's the 10 yards, chipping away, and we talked about a minute ago.
And that Ernie Lomax, he looks the part. I know you like those tight ends, Brian. 6'5", 240 pounds.
Love them, especially the ones that catch football. I didn't get to do a whole lot of that, so I like to see guys that can do it.
Your long-time career in the NFL.
I just didn't have the opportunity.
Oh, come on. You caught a lot of balls in the NFL. Like the Browns and the Ravens.
A lot's all relative, really.
You got a Super Bowl ring with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots.
That's right. And you know what? I don't have it on my finger.
And where?
Golly.
Short gain on first down. Well, not even a short gain. They're going to call it a 0 in terms of yards. So it's going to be second down and 10.
I think we're going to get spoiled here offensively, because if we don't see a 5 or 10 yard game, we're going to think, who cares? So this is a dynamic offense here on the Hampton side. Grambling the same way. They like to move the football, and they can do it.
Man in motion, Curtis Lewis, the big fullback. They give to Coleman. Coleman breaks through the first wave, gets out to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 4. Let's go back to the studio. I'm Brian Kenny.
All right, Eric, let's go to Michigan and Vanderbilt. Here, Mike DeBoer, new offensive coordinator. First offensive series for Michigan. And here's Kevin Grady. 18-yard touchdown run, so starting in style. 7-0 Michigan in the big house over Vanderbilt. Eric?
Thanks, Brian. Lloyd Carr, quite possibly on the hot seat this year.
What coach isn't on the hot seat?
Mac Brown, maybe. He won the national championship a year ago.
It just goes with the job wherever you are. It's just constant.
3rd down and 6. Let's see what the Pirates plan on doing here. Throw is behind the intended receiver, looking for Andre Jones. And it's going to bring up a 4th down in a punting situation.
Well, number 56, David Hicks, their pass rush specialist, gave him a mouthful right there. He short-armed that a bit. Quite a few yards maybe behind intended receiver, Andre Jones. Now this is the punter we've been waiting to see. I know Coach Taylor has been anticipating this game to see this young man perform. Last year, 47-yard average in high school. We watched him yesterday and in pregame, and he can bomb it.
Jamal Blanchard. High kick. Doesn't look like we'll have a return. Landry Carter watches it go out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Kick of 31 yards. When we come back, Grambling State. Let's see if they can finish off another good drive.
Germs in your mouth. The problem is, they keep coming back. You need a toothpaste that keeps on fighting. Colgate Total, the only toothpaste clinically proven to fight germs for a full 12 hours.
Bust the blandness with Fiery Buffalo Boneless Wings at KFC. Get 100% breast meat boneless wings dipped in our Fiery Buffalo sauce. Try 6 for $2.99 or 18 for $8.79. Also available in honey barbecue flavor. No bones, all flavor at KFC.
Football on ABC. Season starts tonight with Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech at 8 p.m. College football lives here.
Hi, I'm Jessica Simpson, and if you're like me, your skin is far from perfect. I've struggled with difficult skin for years, but now I have clear skin I can depend on and a friend I can count on. Proactive Solution is a complete anti-blemish system that helps treat acne and prevents future breakouts. It not only keeps you acne-free, but it leaves your skin glowing, vibrant, and fresh. You're gonna love this stuff.
And loving your skin just got easier. Act quickly and get a 30-day kit of Proactive for just $19.95.
I have comments on my skin all the time, whether it's from makeup artists, photographers, fans.
With Proactive's proven 3-step system, you can heal acne today and prevent future breakouts tomorrow.
Hello? Why not try Proactive? What can you lose except blemishes?
Order now and get priority mail shipping at no extra charge. Call 1-800-980-7800.
Clear skin is sexy skin, so get the look you want with Proactive.
Power up.
ESPN2's presentation of the 2006 Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge is brought to you by Ford, proud title sponsor of this year's MEAC SWAC Challenge. Ford, bold moves. And in part by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And the Gillette Fusion Game Face College Tour, proud to be an associate sponsor of the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Melvin Spears looking on here at Legion Field, and well, this football field has been a refuge for his quarterback, Brandon Landers, over the last week. This has been probably the most difficult week of young Brandon Landers' life. Just 8 days ago, after attending a high school football game in his hometown of Monroe, Louisiana, his brother Frank Landers was shot and killed. He was just 18 years of age. Now, Brandon was there when Frank was shot and actually drove him to the emergency room where police say Brandon was dead on arrival. Pass is incomplete, almost an interception. Calvin Bannister falling backwards, not able to make the grab. Police also say that the man accused of firing the gun has turned himself in. Obviously a difficult time for everyone involved with the Landers family. He says he is dealing with it okay, but you just don't know, Brian.
Yeah, it's just bizarre and just a tragic incident, and I can't even imagine the thoughts that go through his head. And being out on that field probably takes a lot of those thoughts away, at least temporarily, but he still has to go to bed at night and put his head on a pillow.
2nd down and 10. Caught in the backfield. Ab Kwan is brought down by that fantastic linebacker we told you about, Justin Durant. Last 2 years, the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year, and he shows you why. Loss of 6 on that play as Durant just blew through that line. And
I don't know if Durant has stayed at his linebacker position all day. He's been in the backfield of Grambling on every play. Strictly because they're bringing pressure. They have a 3-man front. You're going to bring one guy almost every time.
Dangerous situation for a young quarterback. 3rd down and 16. And a flag flies before we can get that play off. We're going to have a delay of game.
Looks to be that way. How do you do that?
5-yard penalty.
All right, Melvin Spears right now. He's got a 3rd and 21 with a young quarterback. What's the play call?
What's the play call? I'm using my psychic powers here. Well, I talked about it earlier. Screens are a lost art, but it's very difficult because they're going to be back in a zone protection. They're only going to rush 3. They're not going to bring any pressure. So no matter where the football goes, somebody's got to make a play to get a 1st down out of this situation. And who's the guy to go to there?
I think Henry Tolbert.
Henry Tolbert, the running back who's lined up at wide receiver, who has the skills to do that.
Landers throws late over the middle, and that ball was almost a disastrous throw. Marlon Fair was tracking it, but he couldn't come up with the interception, and the punt team will have to come on for Grambling State.
Well, when you move a quarterback, I don't care who you are, it takes away a little bit of your accuracy because you're having to set your feet quicker and get the throw out there. You're not being able to drop back and sit and anticipate. It's a very difficult job. Landers obviously not executing near close to where he was expected to, and Coach Spear, I'm sure, is not very happy about it, but could have had the 1st down if he would have completed it.
For the 2nd time today, Manuel will have to kick out of his end zone. Low bouncing kick. Marquay McDaniel gets away from the football, and it is down inside the 40-yard line. 36-yard punt, no return. Let's go back down in the field where Jay Walker is standing by. Jay, what do you have?
Hey, I know you think this is just another stylish belt that your man Jay Walker's wearing, but no. Actually, we know these 2 teams split the national championship last year with the SBN poll. Well, Hampton said they've got a little something extra they're fighting for. A little machismo, if you want to call it. Their championship belt. When I wear this, I feel like Ric Flair. To be the man, you have to beat the man. They bring out this belt only for special occasions, and yesterday at practice, the belt was definitely in full force. Woo! Little Nature Boy reference, huh? To be the man, you have to beat the man. And let's see if the Hampton Pirates can stay the man, baby. Back to you.
That doesn't look a whole lot like the belt he had on earlier, does it?
No, it's a little bit bigger. Alonzo Coleman runs the football and runs it well on 1st down. He picks up 13 yards, and he's inside the 35-yard line. John Nixon finally ran him down, but not for a big gainer for Coleman.
Well, center Terrence Smith, Dennis Conley, those guys up front, those young kids who haven't played much, they're doing their job on that Grambling front 4 of clearing the way for Coleman to rack up some yards, and that's the way that they're going to get this offense moving, getting them some confidence to be able to put points on the board.
You just saw that one play, 55-yard touchdown to McDaniel, basically all the offense so far for the Pirates. But maybe this drive will change things around. Good spinning run. Coleman picks up positive yards on 1st down before Jason Banks brings him down. Pick up a 7, maybe 8.
Well, this is the exact same play. I think just the exact different direction. Coleman gets a few yards, not as much. But this is the thing that takes the teeth out of a defense, is running right up the middle.
Now you expect this first game of the year for both teams, and we have seen a decent amount of whistles.
Well, this is the drive that Hampton needed to get. Coach Beatty, their offensive coordinator, they had the big strike early. And now they need to establish a nice long drive and get some points, at least field position. I think the field position battle is going to be won by Hampton strictly if you look at the kicking game alone. And their punter and their kicker, that they have very experienced guys, and the young kicker out of high school with the big average. But a good consistent drive will do the same about pinning Grambling, even if they don't come away with points.
After the 5-yard penalty, 2nd down and 8. Shepard to Coleman. And Coleman, I think he gets back what they just lost on the penalty. Pick up a 4, maybe 5, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
We haven't seen the ball in the air in the last few plays. They're trying to establish somewhat of a ground game. You know, people talk about the spread offense, and they think pass, they think move the ball through the air. But Joe Taylor was telling us it's not that. It's just basically throwing the football to open up the running lanes, which is exactly what we're seeing on the last handful of plays.
Hampton will not get this playoff before the horn sounds and the end of the first quarter comes your way. So when we come back, Princeton Shepherd and the Pirates, they will have a pivotal 3rd down and 3. It's been a fun first 15 minutes of football. We'll take a timeout and come back with the second.
ESPN College Game Day. Saturdays now starting at 10 a.m.
All finished. Okay, you can do the same, son.
See, son.
With best-in-class towing and best-in-class payload, Bold steps up.
I can't believe my eyes.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
Your new car, the ride of your life. You haven't even made a dent in the payments. And it's gone. With new car replacement from Allstate, if your car is totaled in the first 3 years, you can get a brand new car. Not just the depreciated value. It's time to make your world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch.
I'm just saying, girl, I am made to order.
Dad? What's going on? First you're selling yourself for $1 and now this?
Stop treating me like I'm on the kids menu.
Whopper Jr. for $1. Bringing some attitude to the BK value menu.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
For years, E-Trade stood outside, throwing stones at the financial establishment. Now that we've matured and offer everything from trading to banking, we're doing it from inside. Be extraordinary at eTrade.com.
This fall, Ted Danson puts the psycho in Psychotherapist.
I had a patient who got so wasted he crawled into bed with his ex-wife.
That's really pathetic.
These things happen.
Help Me Help You premieres Tuesday, September 26th, only on ABC.
You know, that's part of what's fantastic about HBCU football. You got the bands, and we will see both bands performing right here at halftime, so you don't want to miss that. That's the Hampton band. They call themselves The Force. And they're going to need some force right here. It's 3rd down and 3. They want to keep this drive going. Don't want to have to settle for a field goal. Shepard has a man. Pass is complete, but they're not going to get that first down. McDaniel with the football, but he can't get to the first down yards. Again, he can get to the back to the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 3.
A little quick screen play out to the wide receiver, but not very successful right there.
There's John Carter, who blew up that play, and Melvin Spears understands that this may not be a field goal situation. Actually, this is a little bit surprising. Are they going to punt the football, or are they going to go for the field goal? This would be a 46-yarder from this spot. Joe Taylor's got a great kicker in Andrew Patarini. Now they will try the field goal. Patarini comes on late to the field. Patarini also can punt, so he could pooch this one as well.
They can do a direct snap. He's an All-American guy in Division I AA.
He will kick it. It is low, but it is through. 47 yards is the official measurement. Andrew Patarini, his first field goal of the year. That's impressive. The all-MEAC kicker from a year ago, showing why he is highly thought of.
Well, he was only 50% from that distance last year. And it really doesn't matter how it gets there. It got there, low liner, but through the uprights, 3 points. They accomplished their goal offensively.
And Andrew Patarini, interesting story about how he got to Hampton.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday. He wasn't very heavily recruited out of high school. Wanted to be an architect and started looking at schools, got something from Hampton. He thought it was Hampton, New York.
The Hamptons.
The Hamptons. A little misguided. Took his trip over there to Virginia, and really loved the school, loved the architecture program that they had there. That was the big influence on him going there. And next thing you know, he's a Hampton Pirate, 4-year guy who's got a really strong leg, has aspirations of going to the NFL and playing on Sunday.
Now, it's a luxury you don't often see in 1AA football, a kicker who has range 50+.
That's exactly right. It'll be a huge bonus for Hampton today in field position. Watch him. He has not kicked one out of the end zone. This will be his third kickoff of the day. They're a little low. You might want more hang time, but he's getting them deep.
Landry Carter and Keontae Gray back deep. And it's Landry Carter with the football. Tries the right side. Pushed out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines again. And Jay Walker, what's going on?
Guys, you know, a great game like this wouldn't be possible without great sponsorship. And joining me right now from the Ford Company, because it is the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge, is Steve Westner from Ford. Steve, why did you guys decide to get involved in HBCU football?
Well, for years, Ford's been very community-oriented and very education-oriented. We've contributed a lot to different colleges and universities, and we believe very firmly in supporting the communities where we do business.
I got to put you on the spot now. I know that, you know, you're at the game. Who's going to win the Battle of the Bands between Grambling and Hampton?
Oh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. They're both excellent bands and deserving of winning, so it's hard for me to decide on any one.
All right, Steve, thanks for everything Ford is doing. Eric, Brian, back to you.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you to everyone at Ford. And it's something that normally we take a break, grab a bite to eat at halftime. I'm not going anywhere. When the bands are performing at an HBCU football game, you stop and watch.
Well, that's what it's all about, really. We were talking to Melvin Spears about football, and he said, we don't play football here. We entertain fans. That's what the bands do. They entertain those guys, and they're going to have a battle of the bands when the game is over today as well. So it'll be interesting.
After a 3-yard rush by Ab Kwan, it's a 2nd and 7, and that will probably change as we have a flag down on the field.
Well, these are things that you're going to see in game one. I was talking to Spears about it. The most improvement, any coach will tell you.
False start
is
number 76 of the offense.
Week 1 to week 2. And you're going to make a lot of little mental mistakes in games like this, the first game out the gate, especially playing an opponent like Hampton where you've got to be ready to go. And you cannot afford to make those mistakes. That's about the third one, I think, today, just on illegal procedure.
It is. 2 delay of game penalties and 1 false start. Landers throws to no one in particular. It looked like maybe Clyde Edwards zigged when Landers thought he was going to zag. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
Well, that's a communication issue with the quarterback and his receiver. They obviously did not see the same thing coverage-wise. And Edwards made an adjustment. Landers has laid the ball up a lot today. You really haven't seen him make some clean, concise underneath throws. He's made some shorter ones. But you haven't seen any crossing routes, any in routes, anything really that's what you would call an intermediate route. Everything has been over the top and incomplete. And the stuff underneath, they've been successful, but they're only gaining a few yards out of it.
And Brian, you believe this is a recipe for disaster. This is the 4th time so far today that Grambling and Brandon Landers has had a 3rd down and more than 10. Those are always difficult to complete, and you run the risk of disaster. That just an incomplete pass, not too bad. They'll be able to live to fight another day with the punt team coming on.
Well, you certainly wouldn't expect a drop ball from a guy as experienced as Henry Tolbert. This is the guy who's probably looking to run the football before he gets it. He would have had the first down, but there's a fundamental there, just like the offsides we saw earlier. Little things that you have to focus on. Week 1 is more difficult, but the fundamentals of football never go away. And catching the football, I think you would agree, and everybody out there, it's the #1 thing that you have to do to be successful.
I agree with you, Brian Kinchen.
All right.
Tim Manuel punt the football away for Grambling State. Marquay McDaniel, he's electric if he can get his hands on the ball. He's got it now. Starts left, looking for that wall. Cuts back. Good return. Gets out close to the 48-yard line. Pickup of 14 yards after a 41-yard punt. Timeout on the field. Let's go to the studio where Brian Kenny standing by. Brian?
All right, Eric, here's a 1AA power in Montana on the road at Iowa, number 16. And here's Drew Tate to Albert Young. Albert Young, 1,300-yard rusher last year. Touchdown grab there, 7-0, Iowa on top. Eric, Brian?
Brian, thank you so much. I've seen enough of Iowa over the last couple of years to become a big-time believer in Drew Tate. He's one of those guys that just finds ways to win football games. Not huge, but fun to watch.
Kirk Ferentz was my coach in Cleveland. He was an offensive line coach there. Great individual.
First down carry. Alonzo Coleman is spun down at the 40-yard line, but not before he picks up a first down. Bakari Geis brings him down, but a pickup of 13 yards.
Looks like Princeton Shepard took a shot there in the leg. He's a little bit shaken up. And he's shaking it off, staying in. Nice vision by Coleman. We talked about him in the opener. He's going to be the difference maker. Seeing the entire field and bouncing out wide for the extra yardage.
You give it to Coleman again, this time between the tackles, and not nearly as successful. A pickup of 1. Well, a year ago, the Hampton Pirates, they were 11-1. They actually ran the table during the regular season. They were 11-0. They were granted a bid into the 1AA playoffs, and they lost to the Richmond Spiders. That was the 6th 10-win season in school history. Joe Taylor, now been with the program for 14 years. What they like to say about him, he seems to be playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. He has figured it out at the 1AA level. McDaniel with the catch, pushed out of bounds at about the 31, maybe 32-yard line, close to a first down. Gain of 7, probably be about a 3rd and 2.
Well, we'll watch here right after the play, a borderline late hit by Dimitri Carr right into the mouth. You know, it's one thing to hit him. It's another thing to put your fist in his throat. That's kind of like begging for the flag, but he got away with it. That's football.
3rd down and 2. Shepard to Coleman. Coleman has the first down before he's cut down at the 28-yard line. Pickup of 3. Greg Fassett knocked the feet out from underneath him. Let's go back down to the field. Jay, what's going on?
Hey, guys, I know it's early in the game, but right now, early, you can tell that the Hampton players are having trouble fighting off cramps. Princeton Shepard looks like he's caught a cramp on the field. Alonzo Coleman is just completely drenched, and these guys are on the sideline sucking in air like it's going out of style. It'll be interesting to see if their conditioning can hold up with the extreme heat conditions down here on the sideline.
Pickle juice.
Yeah, pickle juice.
They always say pickle juice helps with cramps and staying hydrated.
Well, I wish I'd have known that on the handful of times it happened to me. I tell you, that is the most painful thing in the world is your muscles cramping because you cannot do anything to make it go away.
Marquay McDaniel, just saw, he is not on the field right now. One of the best wide receivers in 1AA football is out of the game battling the heat and cramps.
Well, I brushed on it earlier. The opening season of the game at any level, it does not matter. It does not matter how much you train or prepare. You cannot get ready for how your body is going to perform on game day because your output, your energy level is so much greater. And it takes 2-3 games to get that game shape underneath, especially with a no-huddle offense.
Yeah, they're not doing themselves any favors by trying to hurry up that tempo.
Double jeopardy right now.
Penalty. Makes it a 1st and 15. Staying on the ground, Coleman lowers his head, Barrels out close to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 4. Coleman slow to get up. He is a senior from South Boston, Virginia. 1,300 yards a year ago. Van Morgan, man in motion, left side. Shepard looks left side, pass is complete. Out close to the 23-yard line goes Honore Jones. Pickup of 8 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and manageable. A 3rd and 3.
A little quick screen out to the left. And Van Morgan, their 3rd down back, so to speak, is in there along with number 65, Dennis Conley, coming out from his offensive guard position to lead the way. Didn't produce as many yards as they'd like. That could be a big play if you catch a break or two.
3rd down at 3. Need to get inside the 20, close to the 19-yard line. Shepard with time. Crossing route, pass incomplete. Looking for Derek Faulkner, the big receiver, the senior from New Jersey. And the pass slips away.
It looked like a really well-thrown football right where it needed to be, but it just looked like he gator-armed that one, meaning that he was a little bit concerned about the hit he was going to get, which didn't even materialize, instead of catching the football. Again, another fundamental that they just need to focus a little bit more on, and that's what Joe Taylor's all about. There's no way he's going to let these things go by. They will be worked on and ironed out.
Andrew Patarini, this one from 39 yards, hits the upright. No good. Just a moment ago, earlier in this second quarter, Patarini successful from 47, but 39 yards away proves to be his bugaboo. Looked like it had the distance, but the right upright gets in the way.
Before I started college courses, I charted these courses.
See, we're on course, on track.
Before I got my electronics business underway, I got these underway. Bridge, this is main control.
The Navy got me the money I need for college.
And gave me an accelerated course to my business.
Before I start my own practice out there, I'll get the practice I need here in the Navy.
Navy, accelerate your life.
Good things come in threes. Chili's Triple Dipper Dinner lets you choose 3 of your favorite dishes for just $9.99, each with a different dipping sauce for extra flavor. Southwestern egg rolls, chicken crispers, bourbon barbecue boneless wings, and more. Only at Chili's. Spice-alicious.
What's that? Rabbit food? Business casual slacks? Chintz pillows? No more. Time to be a man again. And it starts in the shower. This gets you clean.
And it doesn't dry your skin.
Not dry. Nice.
And it looks like an oil can.
New Dial for Men body wash. Be a man. Take back the shower.
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. Over the limit, under arrest.
Kickoff weekend on ESPN2 brings us to the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. It's the second go-round of the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. Representing the MEAC, it's the Hampton Pirates. For the SWAC, it is Brandon Landers and the Grambling State Tigers. And so far, Brandon Landers, he has been under pressure, Brian.
Under pressure is to put it mildly. He's getting a mouthful. Charles Robinson, number 58, comes from his linebacker spot. Marcus Dixon lays it on there, and then again, it's not just one guy, it's just a handful of guys. Dixon 3 times there, and then just getting hammered by Vernon Bryant, who's 275 pounds. That does not bode well for the confidence of a quarterback in his offensive line. They need to step up.
Landers has been riding that roller coaster. Talked about the inconsistency when he started 2 years ago for Grambling State. Started off cold, had that hot streak on that touchdown drive, but he's missed his last 4 passes. Make it 5 passes as that one is intercepted. How about that? Calvin Bannister lying flat on his back comes up with the interception. Melvin Spears does not agree.
Well, here's the throw we've been talking about all day. He's either short and underneath or he's airing the ball out. He's throwing it into a coverage with 3 defenders. And the third one sitting right there, and a fantastic play on the football, but you've just seen that too often out of Grambling where it's not a precise throw. It's laying the ball up and kind of just hoping against hope that ball is going to find somebody's hands. It's almost a desperation type play, which is really unneeded in a situation like this when you're only down by 3.
Joe Taylor's team doing what they do best. That's now 27 consecutive games with at least 1 takeaway.
That's huge.
Lonzo Coleman brought down negative yards. Let's go back to the studio, Brian.
All right, Eric, here we go. Georgia and Western Kentucky. Kind of a morality play here. Mikey Henderson. Look at this beautiful run. Inverted cornerback. Breaks through. Bulldogs going to get a touchdown. But you know what? You got to score first, then celebrate. He loses the football. Touchback. Watch it again. Goes for the celebration at about the 4. Lost the football. Touchback. Western Kentucky gets the ball back, but more on Mikey Henderson in a moment. No excuse, guys.
Dead ball.
That just kills.
Is there a lesson to be learned there?
Number 22 of the offense.
I think that one's quite obvious.
Replay, first down.
We just saw an unnecessary roughness called. Let's take a look at it. No need for that. Zaire Wilburn over-aggressive, and Alonzo Coleman retaliates.
Well, that's easy to understand. Football is a very emotional game, and it takes a lot of discipline and experience to be able to subdue those emotions at times like that.
So a second down and a bunch. Van Morgan on a little slip screen, slips away from a tackler and gets out close to midfield. And a flag comes in late on that play. Brian Langford pushes him out of bounds, but not before a huge gain for the Pirates. A 24-yard gain if it stands up. Going to talk things over. Not sure exactly what happened there. Down on the field is Donald Alexander being attended to. Obviously, Coach Spears very interested in this explanation.
Holding number 65 of the offense. Spot foul, 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
So it's not going to be a 24-yard gain from the spot of the foul. They will enforce the 10-yard penalty. They're going to call it on Dennis Conley, who is limping off the field. I'm sorry, Dennis Conley for the Hampton Pirates. That coming off the field with the limp was Melvin Matthews for Grambling State. Donald Alexander continues to be looked at by the training staff for Grambling State. Well, Melvin Spears, he has seen good things and he has seen things that he probably hasn't wanted to see so far in this first game of the year. It's difficult, so difficult college football. You don't get those 4 preseason games that you get in the NFL. First game when you really strap it on and play counts.
Well, as we watch here, a great effort down the field by Dennis Conley, their offensive guard. But you've got to let go. When a guy starts falling back, if you have any shirt in your hands, they are going to call it. No matter if he tripped or if you actually held him, you just got to let go. But a great hustle on his part. I mean, that's 30 yards down the field that big guy's getting. But you just got to be smarter than that. Let go of the jersey when he's falling.
Well, this drive is just getting started, but already Hampton with 25 yards in penalties on this drive alone. Empty backfield. Marquay McDaniel back in the game. Catches the ball right side. He is upended at the 45-yard line. To Michael Dizer with the tackle, pickup of 9. Princeton Shepard, we've seen that all game long. He wasn't hit, but he's been limping around.
Well, he's got those cramps. We talked about that conditioning earlier. His hamstrings cramping up on him. He can't do anything about that but simply suck it up. He's got to get fluids in him, and he's got to just suck it up and go. This is going to happen to a lot of them, especially in a midday game on Saturday, opening week of college football.
3rd down at 5. They need to get to midfield, and another whistle. Penalty flag down on the field. This is becoming a bad habit for Hampton. Joe Taylor, if this is against his team, they will have marched backwards 30 yards on this drive alone.
Proud to the snap. Number 69 of the offense. False start.
And Brian, this is a new dance step. You go forward 5 yards, you go back 5 yards. You go forward 10, you come back 10.
I'm sure Coach Taylor wants to end the dance right now. And I like the fact that he is very even-keeled about it. I would be losing my mind right now because he's a fundamental guy. That's what they preach.
3rd down and 11. 4 receivers in the game. Shepard with time. Flags fly. And Shepard goes down at about the 41-yard line. We'll tell you about the flag in a moment, but for now, let's go back to the studio and Brian.
All right, of course, we had Mikey Henderson for you before celebrating. Lost the football before he got to the end zone. Well, Western Kentucky got the ball back, couldn't do anything with it. Punted back. Who's this? Mikey Henderson again. After blowing the touchdown, he goes back 67 yards and gets it back. It's now 14-0 Georgia over Western Kentucky, Eric.
Thank you, Brian. And I guess you can afford to make a mistake from time to time when you're Georgia taking on the Hilltoppers 1AA team. When they get to SEC, so they're gonna have to button that up a little bit. Now Princeton Shepard down on the field in a lot of pain right now.
Holding by the offense. The penalty review. 4th down.
Well, we're seeing a bunch of ills along the way that you just don't like to see in the first week of the ball game. We're seeing penalties, holding, offsides, and now we're seeing cramps from Shepard. These are just things that they just happen. You've got to be able to overcome them. The good thing is he's not injured. He'll be back after he gets a rest, gets his muscles hydrated. And let's go out to Jay. Jay's got a little input on that.
Yeah, well, you know, Princeton's obviously struggling with cramps, and they're going to play the backup quarterback, T.J. Mitchell. But talking to Coach Beatty, the offensive coordinator from Hampton, who we alluded to earlier in his first collegiate start as an offensive coordinator, he told the team on the sidelines, look, these guys can't play with us. We're beating ourselves. If we cut down on the penalties, there's no way that Grambling can stop us from running, passing. Everything we want to do in the playbook is right there. We're just not executing well.
Well, the Hampton Pirates, they had good field position, but they can't capitalize on it. They'll have to punt it away. 4th down and 8. Jamal Blanchard will punt the football.
Jamal has had a rough day so far, and this is what Coach Taylor wanted to see. Can he transition his style, his booming punts, into the ball game? And early on in his 3 efforts,
the ball is loose on the field. If that hit a Pirate, that's trouble. They're going to say that Grambling was able to jump on the football, so they will have possession of the football when we come back. And a lot of pain right now. Princeton Shepard dealing with cramps, we believe. When we come back, Grambling State will have the ball on offense.
ESPN2's presentation of the 2006 Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge is brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life. And Buffalo Rock.
That is the 16th Street Baptist Church in downtown Birmingham, Alabama. The bombing of that church in 1963, killing 3 little girls. Really galvanized the civil rights movement down in these parts. That church is now undergoing renovations. This is a Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge in the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. A city with a lot of history. Grambling State, their quarterback Brandon Landers. Talk about riding that roller coaster. He has led 5 drives with Grambling, won an 11-play touchdown drive. All the other 4 drives resulted in either no yards or negative yards. So they either celebrated or just been forlorn. Calls his own number and runs that ball left side. Good pickup on first down. Melvin Spears sees his quarterback run for about 8 yards. Take a look at that. Touchdown drive, 78 yards they picked up. All the other 4 drives combined, negative yardage. It's hard to do. Quan with the carry, spun down.
We had talked so much about that drive right after it happened, how Hampton needed to answer and establish offense like Grambling did, but I guess they must have forgot about following that up. And I look at the play of Landers just laying the ball down the field. It doesn't seem like Coach Spears and them and his offensive coordinator are doing a decent job of getting him in a position where he can be successful.
Quan again with the carry, and this one's got to be close. Had to get across the 30-yard line. This is going to depend on the spot. In case you're wondering, this is 1AA football, and there is not instant replay. So what is called on the field is decided on the field. There is no technical advisor taking a look at replays of any of the plays. They give him the first down. Landers under pressure on first down tries to get it out to his receiver in the flat. Henry Tolbert was covered very well, and it's an incompletion. He's now 0 for 6 since throwing that touchdown.
Well, as we watch Landers running for his life, it's just not something a quarterback can get comfortable in. You cannot move around in the pocket and make accurate throws. It just does not happen. And when you don't have confidence in your guys up front, those big guys that need to get their job done better, and you have to commend Hampton for bringing pressure and keeping him moving, he's not going to get comfortable. He will not get into a rhythm at this pace.
Second down and 10. Gets away from the first man, but the second man polishes him off. Alden Blizzard storms in and combines with Jamari Jones on that sack.
Well, this was take your pick. Who wants the tackle? Who can get to him first? Because Landers has nowhere to go with the football, and we just got through talking about it. He has no confidence in the system that he's in right now, and the plays that Coach Spears has given him, and Sammy White, the offensive coordinator. They need to find something to get him comfortable, to get him confident in what he's doing. But you know what? It really begins with the guys up front. They've got to do a better job of stopping those Hampton defenders who are just all over him.
Yikes. Since that touchdown pass to Clyde Edwards, Brandon Landers has not completed a pass. He's 0 for 6. He's thrown a pick, and he's been sacked a couple of times.
Well, I guess when you look back on the last few years, Grambling has had a luxury of having Bruce Eugene, a guy who can get the ball where they need to. It opened up the running game. It's not the case today, and they're going to have to figure out a solution quick.
So Grambling, they call timeout. We'll take it with them. When we come back, it'll be a 3rd down and long. Joe Taylor will send the Dogs out into the backfield, you'd imagine, against Grambling. Well, Joe Taylor, his team on defense, licking their chops right now. It's a 3rd down and 24. See what the play call is here. Defensively, either let it all hang out and try and force Melvin Spears' team into a mistake, or you play conservatively and just wait for the punt team to come on after the next play. Brandon Landers in the shotgun. He's got 4 receivers, 2 right, 2 left. Pass is complete. McKeldrick Bridges has the football, and he's brought down at about the 27-yard line. Gain of 10, but it'll bring up a 4th down and long, and the punt team will have to come in.
Well, I've had many playbooks in my lifetime. I've seen and looked through them all, but I never recall a situation for 3rd and 20. So I don't know what you do in that situation. And they've been in it a handful of times.
So that was their 5th, 3rd, and more than 10 so far for Grambling State.
There's no plays that are going to get you out of the hole that many times. Maybe once.
Marquay McDaniel comes back into the game to field this punt from Tim Manuel. Manuel getting a workout here in this first half. The leg's going to be weary. McDaniel makes the first man miss. Gets out to the 50 and more. McDaniel right side. Cuts back all the way to the 30-yard line. That is why a year ago he was the first team All-MEAC punt returner. A 35-yard punt and a 32-yard return.
Well, if you could see that football, it was literally about 20 feet off the ground. That's called no hang time. And that means that you're out kicking your coverage. Your guys don't have time to get down there. The Flyers have a chance sometimes, but if he makes one miss, which is exactly what he did, you turn it into big yardage.
So again, fantastic field position for the Hampton Pirates. TJ Mitchell is the new quarterback for Hampton. Princeton Shepard, we saw him leave with what we thought was cramps. He is not in the game right now. And Mitchell, his first collegiate pass is incomplete. Throws out left side looking for Jeremy Gilchrist, his former high school teammate where they won a state championship.
I wonder who the offensive coordinator or the head coach was.
That's right. TJ Mitchell is highly thought of. Played a year ago, actually was redshirted a year ago for West Virginia. But he saw the writing on the wall. He was the same year as Pat White, and he said, you know what, I'm not sure I'm going to get any playing time anytime soon, so he transferred, immediately eligible to play 1AA football. And they are happy to have him. They think he's the type of guy that can do whatever he wants at this level of football.
Well, we were talking to him the other day, and he said he can make all the throws. His offensive coordinator, Chris Beatty, who was his high school.
Number 55, false start.
Well, there's Beatty. We see him, high school coach last year, who was his coach. And he's really comfortable with this guy. He calls him a gunslinger. He's got a gunslinger mentality. He loves to throw the football.
Coleman, left side. Coleman all the way down to the 16-yard line. David Hicks finally brings him down, but not before a big gainer. 19 yards and a first down for the Pirates.
Well, I think we're seeing a little bit of the air coming out of the confidence that we saw all week in Grambling when we were talking to him, visiting with them. Coleman doing a great job, as we talked about in the opener, bouncing it out, great vision as a running back, and you're going to see that as the game goes on, that conditioning playing into the equation, and being able to get outside will become more and more easy. But we're seeing these penalties constantly, and we have a new quarterback in the game. His cadence is probably a little different, his rhythm a little different, and maybe that's throwing off the guys up front who are trying to get used to that.
Proud to the snap. Number 56 of the offense. False start.
All right, we're starting to rack up a lot of penalties here. That is now Hampton's fourth false start penalty of this first half.
Well, that's called sloppy football, and it's not good, sound, fundamental football, which I know is what Joe Taylor and his staff are all about.
Pitch out. Alonzo Coleman, right side. First man got to him, tripped him up. Zaire Wilburn got just a piece of him, but it was enough to bring him down, and it's a loss of 1 on the play. Well, Alonzo Coleman, he's been as advertised. He's shown flashes of brilliance. 72 yards so far in the first half.
Well, it's a guy, you said it earlier, 1,000 yards a season. He could be only the 8th guy in the history of the NCAA to get 4 consecutive 1,000-plus yard seasons with a good year this year.
Mitchell under pressure, spins out with time and simply throws it away. Good heads-up play by the redshirt freshman.
Smart play. He doesn't have great wheels. He's not the most elusive guy. He loves to sit back and make throws. And you saw a little bit of awkwardness there, but he did stay on his feet and made a smart decision. Had enough arm strength, which we know he has, to be able to get the ball out of bounds, away from trouble. But as we've seen on his counterpart on the other side, taking a beating when he does it.
There's Princeton Shepard. We are told that he will not be back for the rest of this first half. They're going to evaluate him in the locker room at halftime. See if he was able to give it a go in the second half. But for right now, it's TJ Mitchell. Pass is complete. Andre Jones, now they're going to say it was incomplete. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and long. This would be a 45-yard field goal attempt should Joe Taylor decide to do it. He has sent his field goal kicker, Andrew Paterini, into the game. This is a 4th and 16. Paterini, who has already made a 47-yarder today and missed a 39-yarder, will give it a go. So he's had a busy first half.
Well, he really has. They've had trouble with execution a little bit. I think they've actually changed the holder, who used to be the young punter, Jamal Blanchard. And
kick is blocked at the line.
I was just thinking to say he's having elevation issues on his kicks.
Jason Banks got his paw on it. And Grambling State trying to return the football, which is their right. And they're going to get the ball out to the 30-yard line.
Well, just like we've seen on his kickoffs, they're low screamers, and his 2 field goal attempts have been the same thing. When you're hitting the ball low, all you got to do is stick up the big mitt and make contact. So let's go down to Jay, get some thoughts from him.
All right, guys, joining me now, the 2 commissioners of these great conferences, Commissioner Robert Vowles from the SWAC conference, and Commissioner Dennis Thomas from the MEAC. Commissioner Thomas, talk about the exposure this game brings to the MEAC conference.
It brings a tremendous amount of exposure for our member institutions. It's worldwide exposure, and we have to commend ESPN for bringing our deal to the table. And we're very excited about all the good and positive things that are coming from this TV exposure with ESPN.
When you talk about the MEAC football, the brand of football, Hampton's represented you all very well the past couple of years. They must be the pride of the MEAC.
Well, Hampton has won the championship the last couple of years. They were co-champs with South Carolina State in 2004. But all of our membership has done a tremendous job in upgrading the programs.
When you talk about the SWAC, the G-men from Grambling State doing well, Commissioner Vowles, talk about the Grambling State program as well as the rest of the SWAC conference.
You know, the history, I mean, Grambling's been strong, and last year they're 11-1. This year, hopefully going to be as good. Coming here representing the SWAC, I think that Melvin Spears and Dr. Judson have done a great job with the university institution. So we're excited about their representing the SWAC in the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
All right. You guys are throwing a great event down here. Continued success to both of you all. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Jay, thank you so much. And yeah, we have enjoyed our time. Obviously, the people from the SWAC and Grambling and the people from the MEAC and Hampton, they have been just so happy to be down here and welcome us to this fantastic event. This is the 2nd time this event has been played. Last year, the MEAC won this event. South Carolina State holding off a charge from Alabama State. Pass is complete on 3rd and long. McKeldrick Bridges is tackled at the 40-yard line. Enough for a 1st down. Calvin Bannister tackled him, but once again, Brandon Lanners hits the deck after throwing his pass.
Well, I'm sure it tastes a lot better when he can complete a ball for a 1st down. That's their first conversion in a while in a few series. But defensive coordinator Jerry Holmes for Hampton was in a zone coverage with his DBs back off, and I think they thought they were 3rd and 20 as they were earlier, but they weren't, and they got the 15 they needed for the 1st down. There's Jerry, a longtime NFL player, played with Green Bay and the Jets. Got a chance to visit with him yesterday. A very soft-spoken man who very confident in what he's doing.
Also played in the USFL for the Pittsburgh Maulers. I know you're a big fan of the USFL.
That's dating him a bit.
Well, Brandon Lanners, he can't keep taking licks like this all season long. He's not going to last very long.
Well, he's going to be extremely sore tomorrow without question. But it's hard for me. Quarterbacks, you know, it's a position. You take all the glory when you win, and you get beat to death when you don't.
Who was the toughest quarterback you ever played with or saw play?
Golly. Toughest quarterback I ever played with. College and pro?
Sure.
I'm going to take Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Sure. Chicago Bear, you got to be tough to play in Chicago. They set up the middle screen. And they got some running room there. That's Tim Abney, the tight end. And Abney crosses the 50 and gets close to the 40-yard line. Pick up of 16 yards, 10 seconds remaining, 1st half. And Grambling, they want to get another score on the board before they go to that locker room.
Well, do you think I like that player?
I think you probably do. It's safe.
I absolutely love that play because I love screens. And I love tight ends. Tight end screen. You cannot beat that play. That works because you let the rushers go and you let the defenders clear. Tight end just slips underneath easy little pass, and he gets to sport his athletic skills. I know I didn't have many of those, but
sure you did.
Most other tight end. Well, thank goodness we don't have footage to back that statement, but it's always nice to get the ball in the hands in the open field. For me, it was always a scary thing because I never got that, and when I did, I kind of was a little concerned because like, what do I do now? But he looked very comfortable out there.
Melvin Spears has burned his team's last time out, so they have 10 seconds to go to try and get some scoring going, but they're not going to have any timeouts to work with. Well, ESPN Full Circle brings you Florida State versus Miami. Catch the game from every possible angle. This is Monday at 8 Eastern Time. Don't miss the ACC rivalry that seems to always carry national title implications. ESPN2 has close-ups of legendary coach Bobby Bowden, the QBs, and more. ESPNU and ESPN 360. They have Skycam Plus. Colin Cowherd, ESPN radio host. He is always fun to listen. He has got a very unique perspective on all things college football. Pass is complete, and that's going to do it. They're not going to have any time to clock the ball. Tim Abney with the catch, but he doesn't get first down yards. It doesn't stop the clock. And that's all she wrote for the first half of play here at the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. Joe Taylor, his team ahead 10-7. Timeout here. We're going to go to the studio. Brian Kenny is standing by.
Eric, thank you.
Halftime here at the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge, and the Grambling State Marching Band is taking the field.
We have the one word Texas. And on the truck, we call him Liz. Mr. Norris Green from Faraday.
Let the music play. When we come back, we will hear from the Hampton University Marching Band. Halftime here at the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. Time now for the Hampton University Band, The Force. enjoyed it. The Battle of the Bands here at the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. You just heard the Hampton University marching band. They call themselves The Force. When we come back, we'll tell you what you saw in the first half and what to expect. We're at halftime here at the MEAC SWAC Challenge presented by Ford. The Hampton Pirates on top of the Grambling State Tigers by a score of 10-7. Now Hampton, they have probably outplayed Grambling State by a wide margin so far in the first 30 minutes, but they only lead by 3. Brian, heading into this game, we heard so much about Grambling State's offense and so much about the defense of Hampton. So far, that defense of Hampton has really caused trouble for the offense of Grambling State.
Well, Melvin Spears wanted a balanced attack offensively. They have 11 rushes for 0 yards. There's no balance in that whatsoever at all. And they're going to have to do a better job throwing the football as well. Landers is getting beat to death. He is just getting hammered. And as a result of that, he's completed very few footballs. And you see the interception by Calvin Bannister right there when he threw it up for grabs. And again, just running for his life. And you see Melvin Spears right there trying to figure out something. It'll be key to see the coaching adjustments that are made at halftime. This is where coaching will come in. And you see
for Hampton, yeah, their offense has been basically on the ground.
They've rushed the ball fairly successfully, almost 100 yards on the ground. They've actually ran it a whole lot more than they've thrown the football. And they have the spread offense. You would expect otherwise. You'd expect them to be throwing it more.
Brandon Landers, those numbers, they do not lie. 8 for 21. He's thrown that 1 touchdown, but he's also thrown an interception. I guess you've been in so many locker rooms in your life at halftime. What is Melvin Spears and the offensive staff talking about with their redshirt sophomore quarterback Landers?
Well, I know that Melvin Spears, seeing how an intense individual that he is, he's probably in their face a little bit and trying to get them going, because this is not a huge game as far as they're concerned, as far as conference, but it's a win-loss situation. Anybody competes at any sport does not like to lose. And I'm certainly a guy like Melvin Spears. You know that. I mean, he's a very intense fellow. So I think the adjustments that they make, they're going to have to figure out something. Sammy White, his offensive coordinator, is going to have to come up with something to get them moving the football to have success. They're not really in a bad hole right now. They just need to come out and play consistent football, which they're not doing.
Yeah, Grambling State, they're down just by 3 points. And by all rights, they should be down by a whole heck of a lot more than that. Hampton, they were outplayed Grambling State in the first half. We will see if Grambling State can get back up off the mat when we come back.
Grambling State University.
A community of kindness.
Whether it's helping out with a national emergency or pointing you in the right direction for class.
A community of spirit.
Home of the Fighting Tigers in the world-famed Grambling State University Tiger Marching Band.
A community of excellence.
With its national and international recognition, Grambling State University is
a community where everybody is somebody.
Weekend on ESPN2 brings us to Birmingham, Alabama. It's the second go-round of the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. A year ago, the MEAC victorious. South Carolina State defeated Alabama State. So far, through 30 minutes of this year's edition, Hampton on top of Grambling State by 3. So the MEAC representing well, but it probably could have been a little bit more impressive. Hampton, all they kept doing was shoot themselves in the foot. Look at these missed opportunities. Brian, in the first half, they missed 2 makeable field goals, 7 penalties for 51 yards, just 1 for 7 on third down, and they had great average starting field position.
Yeah, they had opportunities to really kind of put a buffer between them and Grambling, but they really haven't capitalized on that. They only have a 3-point lead now, so it's a little more of an even ball game than it looks.
On camera if you need it.
Statistically, because statistically you'd look and go, wow, Hampton seems to be dominating, but not really, because of the missed opportunities and the mistakes that we had talked about that are going to happen in week 1 of football. It's just the way it is, and it's not fun, but it's growing pains that you have to live with.
Jay Walker, how do things look to you down on the field?
Well, I had the opportunity to talk with both coaches, and Joe Taylor kind of reiterated some of the points that you all talked about. His team is moving the ball very efficiently from the 20 to the 20, but they're having trouble punching it in down in the red zone. Grambling, on the other hand, Coach Melvin Spears said he's going to listen to you, Brian. In the second half, in order to settle down Landers, he's going to give him more rollouts, bootlegs, play-action passes, and screen plays just to slow down that ferocious pass rush coming from Hampton University. And also on a footnote, Princeton Shepard walked gingerly off the field. His status for the second half is uncertain. They're going to give him some IV at halftime. They think he may be able to play, but if not, Coach Taylor said he has the utmost confidence in the backup, T.J. Mitchell.
Thank you so much, Jay. Yeah, let's talk about this backup, T.J. Mitchell. How much of a drop-off is it for Hampton if he has to give it a go in the second half?
Well, I think it's just a different style of passer. I think somebody that Coach Beatty, the offensive coordinator for Hampton, is probably a lot more comfortable with. He was a guy he coached in high school. He loves his mentality. He loves the fact that the kid likes to throw the football. He has a very carefree attitude. He's very easygoing. He doesn't overthink things. And those are the kind of quarterbacks that you like to have. Problem is, this is a guy that's getting baptized by fire here with a team like Grambling State. This is no slouch on the football field. So he's going to have to be very efficient. He has to call his own plays, all the things that go along with that spread offense of Coach Beatty's.
And he'll have to cool his heels at least for a moment as Grambling State will start with the football here in the third quarter. Ball returned out to about the 19-yard line. Landry Carter, the return for him. And that is where Brandon Landers will start on offense. Redshirt sophomore from Monroe, Louisiana, Carroll High School. Starter in 2004 as a true freshman when Bruce Eugene suffered a season-ending injury. Eugene, the all-everything quarterback, came back last year, threw 58 touchdown passes, and Landers didn't get on the field once. He actually took a red shirt, but now Melvin Spears needs him to figure things out. He needs to mature awfully darn quick. His team down by 3 as we start the second half. Late onto the field, Joaquin Good, linebacker, came on late to the field, and this is easy pickings for Grambling State. McKeldrick Britches in the open spot picks up a gimme 5 yards. They only had 10 men defensively on the field for Hampton. That could have been a whole heck of a lot better for Grambling State. They had a real opportunity there.
Well, Landers did a good job of picking up the fact that his slot receiver was uncovered. Bridges was uncovered, did a great job of just flipping it out to him and making the most of the play.
Second down at 5. Ab Kwan, who was quiet in the first half, sticks his nose in there, picks up 3, and bring up a third down and manageable. Grambling State, you talk about the passing game, but they always run fairly well. Not so far today, just 1 rushing yard.
Well, the balanced attack, you've said it quite a few times today, but you have to be able to do both aspects of the game offensively. You cannot just be one-sided. They had a luxury with Bruce Eugene at quarterback over the past few years of being able to exploit his arm and to be able to gain yardage through the air, but they're going to have to rely on Ab a little bit more in the second half to get things rolling.
Ab gets the first down and then some. Barrels out to the 33, maybe 34-yard line. Pick up a 7 before Alden Blizzard jumps on top of him.
I'll tell you one thing, I just got to go back. The name Ab Kwan, just that name, that is just a cool name. Ab Kwan, it's like that Jerry Maguire movie, the Kwan, he wanted the Kwan. Well, there is the Kwan, right there. We found the Kwan.
Local guy, too. Sylacauga, Alabama, just down the road, they tell me. Kwan gets the football again. So a different strategy here in the third quarter. You'd imagine a good running game is going to help out that young quarterback.
Well, we talked about coaching adjustments. This is exactly what Grambling needs to do. They need to take the ball out of Landers' hands, be able to establish a running game, and open up the passing lanes when they need to throw the football, and to keep it short and intermediate like we saw in the first play of the game.
One of the linebackers for Hampton, Amari Jones, just left the game walking very gingerly. He was replaced by Joaquin Good as Landry Carter gets that carry on first down. Enough for first down yards, and that'll move the chain. First down and 10. Ball spotted on the 46-yard line. Landers has thrown just 1 pass so far on this drive, and they continue on the ground. Carter, right side, his best run of the game. Crosses midfield out to the 48. Carter, the senior from Tallulah, Louisiana, pushed out of bounds by Marlon Fair.
Well, this is a drive very similar to the one we saw in the first half. The only drive that Grambling had, a scoring drive in the first half. We're just chipping away at him on the ground.
Another handoff to Carter. And this time Carter is stuck. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think he needs to get his quarterback doing something. He can't just hand the football off. That's going to get one-sided. They're picking up on it already. he has to get him to be able to do something to kind of loosen up the defense a little bit and get him confidence. Confidence, I think, is the biggest factor for him because he's been beat up so much in this game.
4 receivers in the game. 3rd down at 4. Landers across the middle. Pass is bobbled but caught. 1st down yardage. Good play by Clyde Edwards. Pickup of 7. And now Landers is going to hurry his team back up to the line of scrimmage and try and catch Hampton catching their breath.
Well, Clyde did a great job in man coverage in the in route, a little short, little 5-yard route across the middle, exactly what Landers needs. It's an easy throw. It was vacated because it was man. And he did a good job of executing and pulling it off and gaining some confidence.
1st down play. Quan back in the game. Tries right side. Bounces out. And not much doing. Pickup of 1, maybe 2. Marlon Fair, another tackle. Well, Brandon Landers, he can learn from maybe the best quarterback. Well, it's hard to say, but one of the very good quarterbacks at Grambling State.
Well, according to Coach Spears.
That's right. Bruce Eugene, last year all he did was throw 58. I'm not misspeaking. 58 touchdown passes, just 6 interceptions. He is back this year. He's the quarterback's coach, but maybe not for long. He's got a couple opportunities in the NFL. 2nd down and 8. Landers getting greedy. Incomplete, but a flag flies. Oh, that may be trouble for Hampton. Reginald Knox on the coverage. Maybe got a little too handsy. We're going to have to wait to see what this one's all about. This could be very costly for the Hampton Pirates.
Clearance. Number 9 of the defense. Automatic. 1st down.
Well, things have gone from bad to worse for Joe Taylor's club.
Well, anytime you're in press coverage, you've got to be smart. And when the ball comes your way, all eyes of those zebras are going to be on you. And you've got to be smart.
That's going to move the ball all the way down to the 25-yard line. It's now 66 yards of penalty yards that have gone against the Hampton Pirates. Snap is low, and the play really had no chance to begin with. Ab Quan has swarmed and brought down Justin Durant. All MEAC linebacker, one of the first guys to get him in the backfield. There he is.
Well, defensive coordinator Jerry Holmes bringing pressure that we haven't seen early in this half like he was doing in the 1st half a lot. Had 7 guys on or inside of the line of scrimmage. You're not going to have success running the football no matter what you're doing with 7 guys around you.
Durant has been fantastic for 4 years playing MEAC football. Landers calls his own number, nowhere to go, stumbles forward, almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Now, Justin Durant, let's talk a little bit about him. We've called his name frequently, and the numbers that he's put up over the last couple of years have been pretty darn good. You mentioned the fact that last year, 124 tackles. What makes him such a special linebacker?
Well, he's just got all the skills, the instincts that you have to have in a defensive player who knows where the football is, can sense it, and has the desire to run through people and to make it happen. This is the guy that likes to bust heads, and he's your guy. He's your leader. He sets the tone for that entire defense.
Touchdown, Grambling State. Henry Tolbert, his first score of the year. Landers had time, and he finds Tolbert for 6, and Grambling with their first lead of the year.
Well, we're seeing Tolbert with cramps as well, even though the end result is a positive thing. We're seeing that conditioning factor, but a really nice route by Tolbert on the inside. And Landers doing a good job of getting in the football. We haven't seen him be able to set his feet all day long and make a good quality throw, which is what he did. You take that for granted a lot, but when you're getting beat up like him and not having somebody in your face, sometimes that's a little unusual, but he took advantage of that by not taking it in the mouth. And Tolbert does a great job of getting open against Pat Preston, their cornerback, who got a little bit fooled on the out move and left the middle wide open. You have to wonder where Marlon Fair, the free safety, was on that play.
How does that happen? Brandon Landers on 3rd and 14 Not only gets the first down, but he gets 6.
Yeah, Jerry Holmes, the defensive coordinator, that's what you want him in. That's where you've been successful all day, in 3rd and long. He was probably pretty comfortable and probably regretting the call of manning him up there, but, you know, it's a toss-up. You just never know what's going to work.
Worms starting to turn on that drive. Grambling State, they completed all 3 third downs. Snap is no good, and this is trouble for Grambling State. Nowhere to go. This is Landry Carter with the football. He's got a chance. He's going to get in. Landry Carter scores. Flags fly. If this holds up, that's one of the most spectacular 2 points you're ever going to see.
Well, there were so many things that could go wrong in that play and did, starting with the snap, but he did a great job of improvising and getting free. But when you have a football running around in the backfield that long, you're probably going to get a holding call to go along with it. Hopefully not. But it did look like he kind of stepped out of bounds there, but the referee, who was close to it, did not make that call.
We're going to have to sort this one out. Snap was high. That wasn't a design play.
It was
Snap
a lot of fun, though. It was
a
a lot of fun. I'm sure that snapper's not real happy about it. I can relate to that.
Yeah, they're calling everyone back. I don't think this is going to hold up.
At least they get another opportunity to execute the PAT.
Clipping. Offense.
And a little bit of audio issues. But the penalty goes against Melvin Spears' bunch, and so they're going to march him back. And this extra point is going to be hefty.
Yeah, these aren't the kind that, especially a kicker who last year missed 12 PATs from 20 yards, and you pull him back to 34. Could be questionable.
Yeah, this is a 1-point, 34-yard attempt here. So the degree of difficulty is up there, and how about that? He skins the right upright, but the ball snakes through. So Tim Manuel, maybe his hardest extra point try of the season. Touchdown, Brandon Landers finds his roommate, Henry Tolbert, and just like that, Grambling State with their first lead of the game.
Flavor.
Melvin Spears' bunch on top of Hampton, 14-10, and standing by with our own Jay Walker is Grambling State royalty.
Okay, joining me now, we talk so much about Bruce Eugene. Well, here's the legend himself. Bruce, it must be great to have a coach like you that was a great quarterback to calm down Brandon Landers. What'd you say to him at halftime?
Well, I didn't really say too much to him. I just told him to take his time. We took Hampton's best shot and was only down 10-7 at halftime. I told him we'll come out, go back to our basic stuff, take it here, make sure protection is there, and it'll come out, it'll come out good for him. And as you see on the first drive, we took care of him.
After your dream season last year, 58 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions. NFL didn't go the way you liked it your first time, but what's next for Bruce Eugene?
Well, I'm still working on things. I just came from a workout yesterday in Tampa, so we'll see how that goes. But if not, arena's definitely an option.
How do you like coaching?
It's all right, but it's real stressful.
I guess when they can't do it like you used to, it's hard to live up to those expectations. Bruce Eugene, thanks for joining us. Continued success to you. Eric, Brian, back to you.
Thank you so much. That man was fun to watch. Brandon Landers, truly, if he could have half the season that Bruce Eugene had last year, that would be a phenomenal season. The numbers that Bruce Eugene put up were so good that just a fraction of those numbers would be a sensational season for anyone else.
That's exactly right. 3 good completions on that drive, the big one for the score. They needed to have something happen, and they did, and it was on his shoulders.
Well, Hampton has the ball for the first time here in the second half, and their backup quarterback, T.J. Mitchell, still in the game. His throw is low, or is it a catch? No, incomplete. There's T.J. Mitchell. He is the transfer. He's just a freshman, spent last year playing with West Virginia. He was the backup to Pat White, didn't get much playing time, didn't get any playing time. He decided that the writing was on the wall. He had a better chance playing at Hampton for his old high school coach, offensive coordinator Chris Beatty, than sticking around Morgantown.
Well, here's a freshman who was a senior in high school in 03. He's had 2 years to mature since high school.
And he fumbles that snap. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and long. Let's take this time to go back to the studio. I'm Brian Kenny.
All right, guys, Virginia Tech taking on a 1AA team last year that was 2-9, Northeastern. So you figure could be a big day for Brandon Orr here. 7-yard touchdown run he goes through. Replacing Marcus Vick at quarterback is Sean Glennon. Meantime, Glennon could have put this up to Josh Morgan. Deep, and Va Tech up in style. 21-0 right now.
Ryan, thank you so much. Well, that drive was not good. Hampton didn't get anything going on right there. T.J. Mitchell brought down by Dimitri Carr at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss. And it's going to be a 4th down and more than 10. They're going to have to punt the football away. And Princeton Shepherd stretching out, trying to any way possible to get back in this game.
Well, they need something. Their spark has kind of died out a little bit. It was a great play by Dimitri Carr, their middle linebacker, who Coach Melvin Spears really loves. They did some line games up front and confused the inexperienced front three of Hampton.
Ball Blanchard, a little bit of pressure, gets it away. It is down at about the 50-yard line, and that is good starting field position for Grambling State. Punt of 33 yards, no return. Time out on the field. When we come back, we will see if Brandon Landers and Grambling State can do it again. Grambling State on top of Hampton by a 14-10 score. It has not just been about football over the last couple of days here in the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. Both teams getting a little bit of a cultural lesson. Both teams going to the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute earlier this week. And the centerpiece of the city's historic civil rights district is the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. The state-of-the-art facility with exhibits that depict historical events from post-World War I racial segregation to present-day racial progress. Both teams went, and well, it's safe to say that 50 years ago, this Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge would not have happened here at Legion Field in the city of Birmingham. So things have changed after a somewhat dubious past here in Birmingham, Alabama. So both teams enjoying their visit and getting a little bit of knowledge. The Civil Rights Museum. All right, first play, man wide open. Look at this. Touchdown, LaKeldrick Bridges. Oh, Brandon Landers on fire. What is happening here? This is a totally different team in the second half. Joe Taylor's team stunned as Brandon Landers is coming out and pushing all the right buttons here in the third quarter.
Well, they've done a good job of getting him comfortable and giving him confidence. On the flip side, Hampton, they were in cover one there. They had one safety deep, and everybody else was manned up underneath. And Reginald Knox got burned by Bridges just down the boundary, and Landers did a good job of laying the ball in. It wasn't that difficult of a throw, but you've got to give kudos to him for seeing it, finding the open guy, and just a great job of beating man coverage.
Manuel has his extra point attempt blocked. So they have to be content with just a 10-point lead, but that is their second touchdown in the last 2 minutes and 22 seconds, and this was too easy.
But we see the safety in the middle of the field who cannot get over the top to help out Knox, who got beat by at least 3 or 4 steps. Take your pick. And not a perfect ball, but just right there where it needed to be. Caught him in stride, and just a walk into the end zone. I'm sure this is a sigh of relief for Coach Spears, who was a little worried there about what was going to happen in this ball game.
And once Bridges was behind the defense, I guarantee you that he knew for a fact that no one was going to catch him from behind. LaKeldrick Bridges, his first year playing with Grambling State. He's a transfer from Georgia Tech. One of the very first meetings as a team, he gets up and says, let me tell you something. I am the fastest receiver in the country. He wasn't talking about on the team in the state of Louisiana in Division I AA. He was talking any level of college football. That may just be true, too. He has got world-class speed.
Well, Knox, that's a risky business playing him up tight like that, because once you get beat, you're not going to gain ground on him.
Kevin Teal with this return struggles out across the 25, gets to about the 27-yard line. Keith Hall with the stop for Grambling State.
Look, we see Melvin Spears without his sunglasses, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get a replay on that? I don't know if that's ever happened. That may be a trademark infringement.
Alonzo Coleman not in the game for Hampton. He wasn't in on the last series of downs for Hampton. Maybe that's a developing situation. First down and 10. T.J. Mitchell still underneath center. So Princeton Shepherd, their normal starting signal caller, still on the bench, dealing with what we believe to be cramps. Give goes to Van Morgan, and Morgan not much doing left side. Jay Walker, what's going on down in the field?
Well, the word on Princeton Shepherd is they're waiting for the IV to kick in. They said they gave him a lot of fluids at halftime. It's just a matter of when they get all over his body where he feels comfortable enough to go in there to be effective. Also, another note, Alonzo Coleman's here battling cramps as well. Seems like the Hampton Pirates' biggest enemy is not the G-men from Grambling State. It's the cramps here in Birmingham, Alabama. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Jay. That's no joke. Those cramps, you simply can't play. Second down and 9. 4 receivers in the game. Pass is complete. That's Gilchrist. His first catch from his former high school teammate, T.J. Mitchell. 2 high-profile transfers hooking up there on second down. They're going to mark the ball on the 38-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a first down. Give him a pickup of 9. There is Chris Beatty, 8-year head coach at Lansdowne High School in Virginia. He was the head coach for T.J. Mitchell and for Jeremy Gilchrist, man, who just caught that ball. He had a lot of great talent come through that program in the 8 years he was the head man. Van Morgan. Good play on first down. Rumbles across the 50-yard line inside the 40 to the 38. Pickup of 24 yards before Nigel Copeland tackles him.
Well, I think we're seeing what we thought we would see early in the football game, which is moving the football. That was Van Morgan in the backup to Alonzo Coleman, who's having cramp issues right now. But they need to move the football on the ground, get back to what got them there in the first half, and to rely less on their young quarterback who has little experience at this level.
Morgan again. This time right side. Pickup of 6. Well, college football's kickoff weekend continues with 2 games on ESPN. First at 5:30 Eastern Time, Jeff Tedford's Cal Bears with Marshawn Lynch and Justin Forsett. They go on the road to Knoxville to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. Then at 8:45 Eastern Time, USC without Matt Leinart, without Lendell White and Reggie Bush. They're going to go to Fayetteville to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. College football primetime Saturday on ESPN. A lot of stuff still going on in the world of college football coming your way on ESPN. Morgan, 3rd consecutive carry, upended at the 30-yard line, close to the first down. We shall see. Now there is the bell cow for the Hampton Pirates. Alonzo Coleman, last year's MEAC Player of the Year offensively. He is sidelined right now with heat issues.
Well, 6 yards a pop. You hate to have a weapon like that sitting on the boundary, but it's just the way it works early in the season. Conditioning plays a role.
That last run was good enough for a first down, and Kevin Beverly, the new back into the game for Hampton, and Beverly inside the 20.
Well, we're seeing the big bowling ball, number 35, the fullback in motion there. Curtis Lewis, 280 pounds. That's a nice guy to have leading the way for you. He's a 4-year starter, an experienced guy who's led the way for him for quite some time.
Morgan back in the game, and this time tough sledding. No gain on the play.
He's one of the main reasons that Alonzo Coleman, number 22, who's on the boundary, has had 1,000 yards plus the last 3 years, is having a big fullback. That's basically like having an offensive guard in the backfield with you clearing the way. You're running with 6 offensive linemen, and they're kind of taking the heart out of Grambling's defense here. A lot of what Grambling was doing to them earlier, running the ball up the middle.
Mitchell, little screen, pass too high, looking for Andre Jones.
We're almost seeing mirror images of what Grambling did offensively. And Beatty looked down on the field and said, you know what, let's try the same thing. Let's try to get the ball back on the ground where we started in the first half. Let's try some intermediate little short throws to get our quarterback comfortable. He was a little off there, but it's a good idea, and I think he's learning from what he's seeing across the field. And this might come down to who gets the football last.
3rd down at 10. Mitchell Throws behind his receiver for the second consecutive play, looking for Jones, and the ball speeds past his left shoulder. So decision time, 4th down and 10. But you're in that kind of crazy range. Do you want to try a field goal? Ball spotted at about the 20-yard line, and it looks like they will try a field goal. This attempt should be about 36 yards as Andrew Patarini will come onto the field.
Well, here we see Princeton Shepherd, who's having issues, and I think Coach Beatty is really, that's the key right there for him, because he has an entity in the game who he's seen at a high school level, but not at this level. And I know he's more comfortable with having a guy like Princeton in the ballgame, a more experienced passer.
Well, Patarini now back to 500. He's 2 for 4 on field goal attempts, makes it a 7-point game. Hampton clawing back into this game.
Or Nextel.
ESPN2's presentation of the 2006 Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge is brought to you by the Gillette Fusion Game Face College Tour. Proud to be an associate sponsor of the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. And Allstate. Are you in good hands?
If you're ever looking for the world's largest cast iron statue, you can find it right here in Birmingham, Alabama. Vulcan Park. Vulcan, the Roman god of fire and the forge, originally built back in 1904 for the St. Louis World Fair to represent Birmingham's iron industry. He's actually been here in Birmingham for over 100 years now, and that is trouble for the Hampton Pirates. They're bell cow. Alonzo Coleman, he is going into the locker room. We hear he is going to get an IV, trying to get some fluids in that body.
It's the best way to get it back in, and drinking it is good, but when you put it right into the veins, it works a lot better.
Antoine Gray with the football. Sprinter speed, and he has one man to beat. He can't beat him. The kicker, Patarini, pretty good form tackle. Brings him down at the 35-yard line, but not before a pickup of 31 yards on that return.
Well, you got to respect a kicker coming in there full head of steam, wanting to see some action. This is a big series for Grambling State. Brandon Landers and that crew need to continue with this momentum that they've got offensively, and to keep the momentum on their side. It seemed like we had a little bit of a lull on Grambling side defensively, so this will be a big series, and if they can stick with what they've been doing earlier, moving the football and the short little intermediate passes, they should have success.
5 receivers in the game right now. They try a little screen. Bridges has the ball slipped through the fingertips, and it's incomplete. That snaps a streak of 7 consecutive completions. Well, they're actually going to say he caught it. Yeah. They're going to say he caught it, but his knee was on the ground, so it's a loss of yards. They're going to move him back about 5 yards. So the streak continues. It's actually now 8 for 8, given a completion, even though that was a negative play.
Well, it's a hard thing to do. Ball's low, and you forget that you can't put your knee on the ground. It's just instinct. And once they catch it, completed, but down where he caught it.
Quan with the football. Quan gets back what they lost out to the 36-yard line before Charles Robinson brings him down. Well, obviously Melvin Spears doing something right. His team has not lost to a 1AA team since the 2004 season. Last year they won 11-1. Their only loss was against Washington State up in Pullman. Not an easy place to play. Third and 8, snap is low. Landers calls on his legs, and it's not going to be good enough. Marcus Dixon, first man to touch him. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, that's good on the part of Jerry Holmes, the defensive coordinator for Hampton. He had to come up with an answer for their offense. He had to get the right mix of what he was trying to do to shut them down and to be able to give them some breathing room. Their defense was on the field a long time the last time out. And so he accomplished his goal. Now they'll get the ball back into their offensive hands, and they need to try to continue to work that field position. You just never know how that's going to play out in the end, and hopefully get some points out of it. With a guy like Patarini, the kicker, you can always look to get 3 if you need it.
Maybe the last play of the 3rd quarter. Kick is low. McDaniel gets away from it, and that may be a mistake. Ball's going to be down inside the 10-yard line. Tough field position for the Hampton Pirates. We'll see if they can get out of it against Melvin Spears' team when we come back.
The ESPN.com Fantasy Football Guide on newsstands now.
Hey, plate number FRWG7375. Getting the ticket.
Bold moves, they happen every day.
If you haven't discovered the miracle of fusion, it's time you did. Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure caused irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over. A precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades plus the precision of 1. The best shave ever in manual and battery powered. Gillette guarantees it or your money back. Gillette Fusion.
Hey, kid, how many fingers do you see? 23.
Chicago 23, New York 23, Rancho Cucamonga's 23.
Drop it, give me 23!
Only Dr. Pepper is made from 23 flavors.
23!
For a taste so mind-blowing, it's all you can think about.
23. Over there.
The spider monkey is indigenous to
23! With 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Before I started college courses, I charted these courses.
See, we're on course, on track.
Before I got my electronics business underway, I got these underway. Bridge, this is main control.
The Navy got me the money I need for college.
And gave me an accelerated course to my business.
Before I start my own practice out there, I'll get the practice I need here in the Navy.
Navy, accelerate your life.
Bust the blandness with Fiery Buffalo Boneless Wings at KFC. Get 100% breast meat boneless wings dipped in our Fiery Buffalo sauce. Try 6 for $2.99 or 18 for $8.79. Also available in honey barbecue flavor. No bones, all flavor at KFC.
Spike! Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch.
Grambling State under the watchful eye of Melvin Spears a year ago. 11-1. They ran the table in the SWAC. They were undefeated, winning yet another SWAC championship. And right now, a solid third quarter has them in position against the Hampton Pirates. They are up by 7. Van Morgan with the carry. Nominal gain on first down.
Well, I think Luther Palmer, the defensive coordinator for Grambling, is figuring out that if I put 7 people in the box, they're not going to be as successful running the football. And if I can get the ball into the hands of T.J. Mitchell, who is not a very experienced quarterback, that he has a better chance for success defensively.
Tight end Ernie Lomax goes from the left side to the right side. McDaniel in motion. Mitchell wants to throw with time. Has his man. That's McDaniel. McDaniel in the open field, out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. Big pickup and a confidence booster, you would imagine, for the Pirates. 33-yard gain.
Well, even more so for Mitchell, a young quarterback. Does a good job of finding the open man right in front of him. Does a good job against man coverage, getting on the inside. Delivers the ball. Takes a little bump in the noggin. Well worth it, I'm sure, in his book.
McDaniel with the century. First game of the year, he's caught balls for 101 yards. Van Morgan with another carry with Alonzo Coleman out of the game, and he struggles for 9, maybe 10 yards. He's going to be right on the border, that first down. As difficult as it is for Hampton to think about playing with a lot of Alonzo Coleman, Van Morgan's pretty darn good. Last year he averaged 8 yards a carry for Joe Taylor.
Without question, and I think we go back to Curtis Lewis, the big fullback. You see him in motion. He's kind of an H-back in that situation, a tight end, slash fullback who's out in front of you. It's like having a pulling guard leading the way.
2nd down and 1, conservative play call, and it works out very well. Another good game. Van Morgan picks up the first down to the 40-yard line. Let's go back to the studio and Brian Kenny. Brian.
Eric, we've got former Idaho coaches here. John L. Smith, who served under Dennis Erickson. Dennis Erickson back at Idaho and making a good run, but Jahu Colquitt, 2-yard run, 8-play, 70-yard drive, 24-10, Michigan State over Idaho.
Quite possibly Michigan State, a dark horse candidate. Drew Stanton, senior quarterback. A lot of people very high on the dual threat ability that he has. He can run it, he can throw it. He's got a good back in there. Colquitt playing behind him. McDaniel tries the right side, and Marquay McDaniel can't get going. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play. David Hicks stays home.
Well, I've enjoyed this offense because you hear the word spread offense and you think automatically to Northwestern and recently, I guess, departed Randy Williams. You think of a classic formation of 4 wide, 3 wide all the time, but Beatty doesn't do that. He has different formations, different movement, different personnel groups, and uses all type of formations to make his offense work.
Pass in trouble. Intercepted. Brian Langford had that ball delivered right to his chest. A mistake by T.J. Mitchell, and the turnover gives it over to Grambling State. The first turnover of the game for Hampton comes at a very bad time.
Well, we're going to watch here. I want you to watch Shepard when he throws the football. His back leg, he's off his back leg. You just cannot do that as a quarterback. You have to step into that throw. And when you don't, it goes flying on you and not to the target.
So T.J. Mitchell with that interception, and the young freshman chalked it up to a learning experience. But right now it hurts as the Pirates have to give the football away, down by 7. Pass is complete right side. Chains continue to move. Chris Bird, his first catch of the year. Bird is best friends with Brandon Landers. They played high school football together at Carroll High School in Monroe.
Roomies. They're like brothers.
So this has been a totally different second half from what we saw in the first half for Brandon Landers.
It is a change of fortune for both teams. It looks like they just swapped roles here. We saw Hampton trying to gain some momentum on that prior to the interception. 2nd and 1. Probably just throwing the ball away. Landers didn't like the way things were set up, and he throws it at the feet of his lineman. He'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. It snaps a streak of 9 consecutive passes completed by the Grambling State offense. And take a look at this, night and day. First half, just 7 points, 114 total yards. Second half, they've already bested that, and we're just starting the 4th quarter, and they have 2 touchdowns and 13 points on the board. The difference, though, Brian, Melvin Spears' bunch, they missed the last extra point. Because of that miss, it is just a 7-point lead. Should be 8. Well, that was an issue for them last year. They missed a lot of those little kicks. Execution is a must on those PATs.
Abquan, first down yards, gets out across midfield.
But I can't help but go back to what I talked about at halftime, is that's where coaching comes in. And it's a little easier, I think, for the team that's having problems because they have to adjust. But the guys who are in front, like Coach Taylor and them were, your adjustments don't seem so monumental. But yet you get into the ball game, and all of a sudden they've made adjustments, and you haven't. And you kind of find yourself behind the 8 ball a little bit, and they're trying to play catch-up now.
Fresh set of downs. Landers takes his time, absorbs a blow, and throws the ball out of bounds. Looking for LaKeldrick Bridges, but he just decided to throw it out of bounds and live to fight another day.
Well, I hate to keep harping on this, but it's just to give you an understanding of what these players are feeling. They are tired. This is the first ball game of the year for them, and like I said, I don't care how you prepare. It's very, very difficult to get in game shape without playing football. And so when you look at play like that, you might just think they're getting tired. They are getting tired. And whether it's the receiver, the quarterback, they're all sucking in, especially when you're not huddling. You notice they're huddling a little more later in the game because they have to get their wind back.
Just barely get that play off. Bouncing right side. Abquan. And Quan is going to be pushed out of bounds. He loses yards. On a loss of 1. Jermaine Mallory came up with the force to push him out of bounds. Well, actually, they're going to call his forward momentum stop. Didn't go out of bounds, so the clock continues to roll.
Well, here's a situation, first half of the ball game, that they were in a lot. 3rd and 10 and longer. And they're right back in it the first time in the second half, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to this situation that they were very, very unsuccessful with in the first half. Of course, they were in it so many times, it's hard to be successful time and time again.
3rd and 11. Ball spun out to Clyde Edwards, who makes the catch but can't do anything else. The pass was too low, and he is down once he goes to the ground.
Well, on this punt, I just want to give everybody a little heads up. We've noticed throughout the ball game the punts have been low with little hang time, and they've had very good success returning the football. Marquis McDaniel was back there earlier and made some big plays. So let's see if he can get any hang time on this football. We got Jeremy Gilchrist back deep.
Oh, pressure in the backfield. Manuel avoids it and gets off a kick. Ball off the fingertips of Gilchrist. Gilchrist loses the football. Picked up by Grambling State. Oh, my. Big change of events. Keith Hall gets the loose football, and the Tigers are in business inside the 10.
Well, we pointed it out right before the play. We had a different returner into the football game and just didn't do a good job of handling the ball, which is a crucial thing on punts. You have to be able to secure the football, and once he got it, you've got to wrap it up. But it's a good play, getting the hand in there and batting it away, giving them a great opportunity right on the football. Sometimes it doesn't matter how well you've got it tucked away. You cannot prevent it when the hand's coming in that hard and that quick. But I know he's regretting that, and hopefully Grambling can capitalize on this opportunity.
Jeffrey Jack actually forced the fumble, and it was Keith Hall who jumped on it. Oh, man. Almost an interception by Travaris Bain. Wow. Don't know exactly what Landers saw there, but it wasn't the right thing.
What was he thinking? I like the call. Love the call. The play action on first down on the 4-yard line. I love that call, but the longer you wait when you're near the end zone, the shorter that field gets, and the quicker those guys close. And he doesn't throw a decent ball. That thing's kind of just like a punt or a kick just kind of thrown up there, and really a huge missed opportunity right there.
Now let's see if Melvin Spears gets a little bit more conservative on 2nd and goal. He's got 3 men in the backfield, and they give it to the deep back.
Wow.
Ab Quan is swarmed and brought down. That man again, Justin Durant.
Well, we had that opportunity to watch these offenses work on a short field. Now, when I say short field, I mean inside the 20, because that's the most difficult yardage to get in a football game. We saw them try the play action, which is a great call. Now they're trying to run the football, but often defensive coordinator Jerry Holmes is bringing pressure because he knows that the field is short and he can man up his guys because the speed is not as huge of an issue down here. It's more about accuracy, throwing the ball up top. The fade route is probably a great call right now. They're bumped in man coverage right now. They got a safety deep.
And a whistle. And a flag's going to fly, and I think it's going to be another delay of game.
Wow, look at that opportunity. It's almost gone. 1st and goal on the 4. Now you're 3rd and goal on the 15.
Number 3 of the offense.
Did he call in on number 20 of the offense? No, it's a team.
You got better ears than me.
It's a team infraction, but it's going to merge back 5 more yards. And they had this ball inside the 5. They're now at the 15-yard line, and a field goal from this range.
We've had great opportunities turned into missed opportunities on both sides of the football within the last 3 plays.
3rd down and goal. Landers to the end zone, incomplete.
Well, we had talked about the kicking game earlier. The advantage goes to Hampton. Grambling is not the greatest at execution, as we've seen not only today but yesterday in practice. They have issues with the snap a little bit, the hold, We'll have to see. This could become huge points down the road, especially after the missed PAT earlier that leaves it at a 7-point ball.
He was a 50% kicker, 6 out of 12 field goals. Got his hand on the football, and that is a huge missed opportunity. Hampton, with their backs up against the wall, they come out swinging. They keep it just a 7-point lead for Grambling.
Girl has been taken.
I'll find her.
They control the island.
This is private property.
Do you know her?
Don't recognize this child.
They've chosen the sacrifice.
Whose desk is this,
And now they've uncovered
You suspect foul play.
the one man who can stop them.
You need to leave here now.
I can't.
Hey, where's this girl? This is murder!
Nicolas Cage, The Wicker Man, rated PG-13, now playing at a theater near you.
Germs in your mouth. The problem is, they keep coming back. You need a toothpaste that keeps on fighting. Colgate Total, the only toothpaste clinically proven to fight germs for a full 12 hours.
I'm just saying, girl, I am made to order.
Dad? What's going on? First you're selling yourself for $1 and now this?
Stop treating me like I'm on the kids menu.
Whopper Jr. for $1. Bringing some attitude to the BK value menu.
Spending limit? Who cares?
Not us, cause them ain't no credit cards.
Sure ain't.
Them motorcycles was expensive and fast.
It's loud.
Oh yeah, them bikes be like wah.
No, like.
They went like wah. Sound good cause they free. Shoot.
Yeah, shoot.
Citi Identity Theft Solutions. Talk to a real person to help get your life back. Free when you get a Citi credit card or Citibank account.
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. Over the limit, under arrest.
Now the Hampton cheerleaders looking for something to put their hands together for. Big defensive stop a moment ago, forcing a missed field goal, 32-yarder by Tim Manuel to go awry. And because of that missed field goal, the Hampton Pirates are just one score away from tying or possibly going ahead in this game. They're down by 7, and there's still plenty of time remaining for anything to happen. 3 receivers in the game for the Pirates. Handoff goes to Van Morgan, and Morgan is stuffed, brought down. David Hicks, Dimitri Carr lining to bring him down. Dimitri Carr a year ago led the team in tackle 99. He's a first-team all-SWAC performer.
Well, this is where you need a guy like Dimitri Carr to step up. As you just said, second-team all-SWAC performer. He needs to be heard right now. He needs to help in shutting down that running game and not giving them any momentum. One-score ball game right now.
Second down and 11. P.J. Mitchell swings it out. Pass is complete to Andre Jones, and Jones still on his feet. Out across the 35-yard line, and it looked like someone had his hand on his face mask. It's a 16-yard gain, possibly more.
Well, he lost his helmet. That could be the first indication that that's what that was.
Smash. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Melvin Spears has to surrender another 5 yards to Michael Dizer, called for that face mask penalty. We apologize for technical difficulties we've been experiencing. Hope to get things figured out as soon as possible. We've got a good one here. A little bit over 7.5 minutes remaining in this game. Grambling. Hampton playing the Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge, and so far it has been a game of surges for each club. Kevin Beverly with the carry.
Well, there hasn't been a whole lot of consistency, you could say, offensively in this game. You've seen spurts of really good football. You've seen big plays. The trick play earlier with Hampton in the first half, it really started the game off. But really inconsistent, but you're going to see that in week one. That's just the way it is it's the growing pains of the first week of the season.
Fullback Curtis Lewis goes right, and they send Beverly behind him. A little bit of a snag in the backfield, but he's still able to get across the line of scrimmage, pick up a couple, and he's going to be close to the first down. I think it's 3rd and 1, and that's not good. Last year's MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, Alonzo Coleman, no longer wearing his game pants. He's down to just shorts on that sideline.
Well, I think you're seeing a little bit of a dragging of all the players on the field right now. Grambling was huddling up earlier to give their guys a chance to recover. Hampton is not doing that. I think they really need to try to maybe start to slow it down a little bit so they can get more effective play out of their guys right now, because they just seem to be like in molasses.
Another good run to the 40-yard line goes Kevin Beverly. Gain of 13. So Beverly and Van Morgan both running the football with Alonzo Coleman out, and they've done just well.
Well, here's my guy. I love this guy, the big bowling ball, 280-pound Curtis Lewis. He is the offensive guard leading the way out of the backfield. But he is one of those guys, as you can see right there, who looks a little winded.
Busted play there, passing complete, looking for Andre Jones. Let's go back to the studio. Brian Kennett.
All right, guys, thank you. Mentioned Idaho and Michigan State. You've got coach versus coach, Dennis Erickson, back against John L. Sullivan. And here, Idaho on a 4th and 2. Steve Wichman to Lee Smith. It's a ball game, 24-17. Eric?
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, those 1AA teams, you don't know what you're going to get. They play good football. We've seen good football so far this afternoon. 2 good 1AA teams. And a timeout is called on the field. Grambling State want to call timeout and make sure that all their ducks are in a row. 2nd down and 10, and they want to keep the pressure on the youngster TJ Mitchell. There's the offensive coordinator, Chris Beatty. Chris Beatty is talking things over with his offense. Normally we see him up in the coach's box.
Wait, he was.
But with his young quarterback down on the field, he decides to go down there and be with him.
He's caught the elevator. There's Beatty right there, we see, talking to his guys. But I think it's interesting to note here that we're not seeing Princeton Shepherd back in the ballgame. Now, I don't know what his condition is. We haven't heard. Maybe Jay can give us a little update on that. But it seems like Mitchell is the guy that they're going to go with. And you look at the connection with him and Beatty back in high school, the familiarity with him, and wanting to be able to work with a guy that knows him, he knows him. Jay, what do you think, buddy?
Well, I think that, after seeing Princeton on the sideline, at one point he was very close to getting back in the game, but I saw one of his coaches say, Princeton, we can't have you in there if you're going to be a detriment to the team. If you're not fully 100%, if you're even 50%, we can't have you in the game. And he looked at his coach and said, well, let's let TJ finish it out.
2nd down and 10. Mitchell under center. Wants to throw left side. Passes knocked away. Jay, while we still have you, I want to ask you a question. You've been in these games before. You were a phenomenal performer playing in the MEAC with Howard. What does it look like when you take a look into TJ Mitchell's eyes on the sideline?
Well, I mean, he's a guy that's coming in his first game. It's like a playoff atmosphere. This is the championship game against a big opponent. Fortunate for him, he's got an offensive line that's produced 2,000-yard rushers over the past 3 or 4 years, so he can rely on this running game. But what he has to do is play with it himself, and he's really having difficulty with the short passing game. He's made some big plays, but he's got to settle down, find his rhythm, and just manage the clock.
3rd down and 10. Mitchell wide open. Finds his man, the senior Marquay McDaniel. Chains move. That's what they needed. So the beat continues for the Pirates.
Well, I love the combination there. They had the return route underneath that kind of cleared it away. He came in and ran the return route, and he came over the top to clear out the way right in there. And Mitchell does a great job of seeing it as he pulls the defender back, opens up the inside, and it's wide open. What a great call.
So a fresh set of downs. Coming up on the 5-minute mark. Mitchell takes it himself. One of the things he can do. He's a very athletic guy. He can also use his legs to win you a ball game. Picks up a couple of yards. John Nixon trips him up.
Well, not something we'll see a lot of. I know that Beatty had said that he really doesn't like to run the football. He likes to sling it. He's a gunslinger. We haven't seen a whole lot of that carefree attitude because I think he's feeling a little bit of a pressure of being at the collegiate level. But I'm sure as he matures, maybe even today, we'll see more of that.
Morgan inside the 20.
But right now, it's about getting points on the board. They got a 7-point deficit that they need to eliminate to relieve some of this pressure. There's only 4:30 left in the game. Time's getting short, but they're being conservative, sticking with what got them there, running the football, not trying to do it too quickly. They don't want to give the ball back to Grambling too soon. Consistently moving. It's a big down for them. 3rd down right here, 3rd and 2.
Kevin Beverly is the back behind Mitchell. Beverly has it. Stood up and brought down close to the 1st down. Originally, John Nixon hit him hard, but he was able to sneak out of that tackle and spin forward. Dimitri Carr also in on that stop.
Well, those are the extra yards that you get out of strictly heart and desire, because you're getting hammered at the line of scrimmage. It's a 4th down situation. I don't think there's any question in the mind of Coach Beatty and Coach Taylor about what they're going to do here. It's just a question of making the right call now.
So, Joe Taylor, he burns his first timeout. Still have 2 more to play with. 4th down and 2.
Well, and I hate to sit up in a booth and second guess, and I'm not down on the field making calls, but situations where you know that you're going to play 4 downs, then your 2nd down really becomes, your 3rd down becomes a 2nd down. So use it the same way and use a little play action, because they're going to be looking for the run. And a short little fake and pulling up tight end, fullback, doesn't really matter. Would have been a perfect call, but like I said, hindsight, it's easy for me to say, because they're looking at not losing the football and not losing out on an opportunity like this. But this is a drive that's lasted for over 5 minutes. It's something they needed earlier in the ball game, but they're being very careful. But this is a huge play right here. This is the ball game technically, unless Grambling makes a mistake when they get the football, which I highly doubt. I doubt that ball will leave anyone's hand.
This will be the 12th play of this drive. 4:56 has come off the clock. Now, Hampton is still at 2 timeouts remaining, so should they not get this, they still have a puncher's chance. But they would love to keep the ball in their hands.
Well, we're looking at big Curtis Lewis, number 35, the fullback. He'll probably be a good indicator of where that football is going to go.
Kevin Beverly is the deep back. Oh, miscommunication in the backfield, and that's going to be trouble for the Hampton Pirates. Credit the defense of Grambling to force the issue. Big old Dimitri Carr flexing a little bit of muscle, and they're going to get the football back for their offense. TJ Mitchell, the freshman, a learning experience, and those lessons are hard to learn on a 4th down and 2. So Hampton, they give up the football. When we come back, let's see if Grambling can salt this one away.
If you haven't discovered the miracle of fusion, it's time you did. Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure caused irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure, with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over. A precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, plus the precision of 1. The best shave ever in manual and battery powered. Gillette guarantees it or your money back. Gillette Fusion.
Bust the blandness with Fiery Buffalo Boneless Wings at KFC. Get 100% breast meat boneless wings dipped in our Fiery Buffalo sauce. Try 6 for $2.99 or 18 for $8.79. Also available in honey barbecue flavor. No bones, all flavor at KFC.
That's good. Skinny in there.
There's only one place to be on game day. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays now starting at 10 a.m.
Hi, I'm Jessica Simpson, and if you're like me, your skin is far from perfect. I've struggled with difficult skin for years, but now I have clear skin I can depend on and a friend I can count on. Proactive Solution is a complete anti-blemish system that helps treat acne and prevents future breakouts. It not only keeps you acne-free, but it leaves your skin glowing, vibrant, and fresh. You're gonna love this stuff.
And loving your skin just got easier. Act quickly and get a 30-day kit of Proactive for just $19.95.
I have comments on my skin all the time, whether it's from makeup artists, photographers, fans.
With Proactive's proven 3-step system, you can heal acne today and prevent future breakouts tomorrow.
Hello? Why not try Proactive? What can you lose except blemishes?
Order now and get priority mail shipping at no extra charge. Call 1-800-980-7800.
Clear skin is sexy skin, so get the look you want with Proactive.
Net. ESPN2's presentation of the 2006 Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge is brought to you by Ford, proud title sponsor of this year's MEAC SWAC Challenge. Ford, bold moves. And in part by Allstate. And the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
We are here in Birmingham, Alabama. This is the second Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. Grambling State on top of Hampton 20-13, and big defensive stop for Grambling State just a moment ago.
Well, it's 4th and 2. They know what they're going to do. You can count 7 guys along this line of scrimmage, and Dimitri Carr right there, who's going to come and blitz up the middle. You got Ernie Lomax in motion, coming along to lead, and the big fullback. And it really doesn't matter, because when you blitz the A-gap and time it up that perfectly, it's a great call to be able to shut down that play and get the ball back in their hands and pretty much probably ice this ball game.
Yeah, this scrambling defense, they have come to play here in the second half. Fourth quarter alone, 2 takeaways, 1 4th down stop. And now they're going to try and bleed a little bit of clock. Ab Kwan holding on to that football with 2 hands, picks up 2 yards.
But we had talked about it just a little bit earlier about Dimitri Carr stepping up and making a difference in this ball game on the ground. And what bigger stage than 4th and 2 with the game on the line to make a play.
Hampton just called a timeout, so they have just 1 timeout remaining. There's still 3 minutes and 17 seconds remaining.
They need a first down.
But that's a lot of time remaining to start to burn all your timeouts. Do you agree with this?
Well, they're going to get the ball back if they stop them. So it's just a matter of, do I take it now? Do I take it on 2nd down, 3rd down? It's really kind of irrelevant, but they're going to have to get rid of them to be able to stop the clock. They let it run. You know, it's coach's call. What he wants to do, how much time he wants on the clock. If he wants to try to operate without any timeouts, which is what he'll probably have to do. But the key is they have to defensively, and Jerry Holmes, their defensive coordinator, needs to come up with the right calls to be able to shut them down and get the football back, because we've seen their punting game, that low line drive punt.
So ESPN Full Circle brings you Florida State versus Miami. Catch this game from every possible angle. Don't miss the ACC rivalry that seems to always carry national title implications on ESPN. ESPN2 has close-ups of legendary coach Bobby Bowden, the quarterbacks, and more. ESPNU and ESPN 360, they have Skycam Plus, Colin Cowherd with his unique viewpoints. That's ESPN Full Circle. The Seminoles and Canes, presented by Dish Network, Monday at 8 Eastern Time. All right, 2nd down and 8. And keep it on the ground. Landry Carter, left side. Held up, brought down at about the 18-yard line. Loss of 1 yard. Hampton, do they call a timeout? Yes, they do. So they no longer have any timeouts remaining at their disposal. So Joe Taylor's bunch, they're going to rely on their defense to get the ball back and try and make something happen with 3:05 remaining. We'll take a timeout when we come back. We will see if Joe Taylor's bunch can get the ball back from Melvin Spears' club.
You know what I like about tennis are the rankings. I like to know exactly where you stand at all times.
Yeah, it works for us.
Yeah. Hey, if they rank SportsCenter anchors, where do you think I'd be ranked?
I don't know.
Come on.
Nah, I'd rather not get into it.
Come on, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Well, I'm not sure you'll be in the top 10.
I'm in the top 10, Roger.
All finished. Okay, you can do the same, son.
See you soon.
With best-in-class towing and best-in-class payload, Bold steps up.
I can't believe my eyes.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
Your new car. The ride of your life. You haven't even made a dent in the payments. And it's gone. With new car replacement from Allstate, if your car is totaled in the first 3 years, you can get a brand new car. Not just the depreciated value. It's time to make your world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
Coming up next, it's Penn State with Anthony Morelli now coming in for Michael Robinson, who's left Penn State. Penn State and the MAC champs from Akron coming up here on ESPN2 right after this one, Eric.
Well, Melvin Spears with the call of the game. His Grambling State Tigers on top of Hampton by 7 points, but it's 3rd down and 9. What's he going to call right here to try and keep the ball in their hands?
Well, any coach in the planet is going to call a run play. Probably going to look like they're going to spread it out and try to throw it and run a draw. Would be the conservative call. I won't put anything past Melvin Spears, though, because the guy likes to gamble. He will lay it on the line, and we'll get to see what kind of guts he's got right here.
He's playing with a sophomore quarterback, a guy who hasn't taken a snap in over a year. Let's see how much responsibility he will give him. Ab Quan is next to him in the backfield. Clyde Edwards man in motion. And it looks like they're going to throw it. 3rd down and 9. Landers, does he lose the football? He does. And Hampton, they have it. A flag is down on the field. This could be disastrous.
Well, we just got through talking about it. I don't put anything past Melvin Spears, and there you have it. Trying to drop back and make a play. Wow.
Vernon Bryant was the man who jumped on the football. Do they keep the football?
Wow.
4th down.
Wow, man.
How about that for a change of events?
Well, I'll tell you what, though. We were talking about it just a minute ago. If he runs the conventional draw, everybody's like, oh, that's boring. But you know what? He takes a gamble here. He rolls the dice. He loses, but he rolls the dice, and you got to respect that. Even though you might not like it, especially if you're a Grambling fan, but you got to appreciate it. And that's just big time coming up for the play. Jerry Holmes bringing pressure, guys making plays. Man, what a turn of events. Now we will have to see, can Hampton convert?
Now they have no timeouts, but they're inside their own 20.
And the clock is already running. Change of possession.
They have plenty of time. TJ Mitchell, redshirt freshman, quarterback still in the game. Hands off to Beverly. Kevin Beverly, the transfer from Kent State. Pickup of 2. Hampton, they have no way to stop the clock.
Well, they can get 4 downs if that's all they're going to need. And chances are they probably won't get a first down. They'd have to get inside about the 2-yard line to do that. So they're just going to take their time and make sure they get the right calls, try to be patient, and not just overreact.
Hampton, they have not scored a touchdown since the first quarter of this game. Another handoff to Beverly.
Now we're getting into a little bit of I don't understand what's going on scenario. It's one thing, I mean, you're just running the ball up the middle. Try to do some kind of a variety to it, maybe just out wide, reversal, trick play. Now you got 2 shots, because you don't have a whole lot more time than that.
Joe Taylor, he's playing with a quarterback who's never played a college game before. That affects his play call.
You're exactly right.
3rd down and 6. Mitchell to the right with time. Pass complete. Touchdown, Andre Jones.
What a big-time college play. For a young kid like that, struggling for most of the day that he's been in there. His coordinator doesn't put a lot of pressure on him. He's smarter than me. He runs the football twice, lulls the defense a little bit, and then wheels his his quarterback out to the corner and asks him to make that game-winning throw on the run, which is the hardest throw to make.
Well, Melvin Spears took a gamble, and it did not pay off. Tried to throw the ball on 3rd and 9 deep in their own territory. Brandon Landers is sacked, loses the football, and gives the Hampton Pirates the football in point-blank range. Now the Pirates 1 point away from tying this thing up. There's Princeton Shepard. Started this game, the senior from Columbia, South Carolina. He's been a winner for 4 years with Hampton. The cramps, the heat, he hasn't been able to play in the second half. His replacement, T.J. Mitchell, thrown up in front of our eyes.
Well, we were watching their field goal unit yesterday, Hampton's, and it wasn't a smooth operation. It's a very, very difficult operation with a snap, a hold, and a kick. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. But with a guy like Andrew Patarini, All-American, it's a good one.
And it is. Right down the heart. And we are tied at 20. How about this for a way to kick off the season?
What a game.
T.J. Mitchell on 3rd down at 6. They take off the handcuffs.
Well, great job by Van Morgan to secure the edge, to give him the freedom to get outside. And he stays with it. Look at the excitement on the young man's face. What a great, great opportunity and the way to rise to the occasion. A little return route there by Andre Jones, getting the extra inch he needed for the score. And Joe Taylor could not be happier. He was anticipating this ball game. In his mind, it was determined who out of the co-champions last year at Black College would be the champion. Of course, Melvin Spears doesn't look at it like that, but Coach Taylor does, and so this is it. This is to decide the champion right here.
Maybe
what a great game.
The only problem with what they just did is they left a lot of time.
They did do that.
On the clock.
They did do that. Well, this will be fun. This will be able to watch them, Grambling State, what they do best. No huddle, move the football down the field. And Brandon Landers, we talked about him in the opener. It's amazing how it always comes back to the things we talk about early of being able to step up and make plays. He's been able to do it in the second half. He's had better opportunities in the first half, and there's 3rd and long, but this will be interesting.
These two teams, they shared the Black National Championship a year ago. Trying to settle things on the field. Landry Carter on the return. Ball comes out late. And they're going to say the ball was blown dead, whistled dead. It'll stay with Grambling State.
Well, we had talked to Melvin Spears about timeouts. You remember what he told me? How many did he want in the 4th quarter?
He said he wanted at least 2.
At least 2, which is what he has. So he's accomplished his goal, and I'll tell you what, you couldn't need it more than you need it right now.
Under a minute to play. The Grambling State Tigers. They've won 10 consecutive games. They have the ball on the 29-yard line.
We're seeing the rule change here in effect. 55 seconds left on the clock. They're going to spot the ball, and they're going to run the clock.
There is a stoppage here, and we're trying to work out the clock situation right now. The clock's here atop Legion Field. It says 1 minute, 7 seconds remaining. Not a lip reader, but I think he said, please put the clock to 1:01.
But this is a break for Grambling because normally that ball would have been spotted and the clock would have been rolling. They're having some extra time here to get a play into the game and get an idea of what they want to do in the next few plays because of this delay.
So they put it at 1:01, but the clock moving. So it's now down to 52 seconds. They're going to have to hurry. Grambling State, they get the ball out to Tolbert. Tolbert picks up a couple of yards, maybe 5, possibly 6, but the clock continues to roll. Grambling State may start to think about timeouts here.
Yeah, they should have called one there to get a chance to regroup. They're not going to have a whole lot of shots here.
2nd and 4. Landers. Big chunk of yards. Pass complete to Abney. And Abney over to the 45-yard line. Big gainer for the Tigers. And now they call a timeout after that 20-yard play. Now this is how we got to where we are. Timeout on the field right now, and well, just a moment ago, it was Grambling seemingly in control. 7-point lead, but the turning point on 3rd and 9 like a riverboat gambler. Melvin Spears wants to throw it instead of burning some clock. The touchdown after the fumble recovery. And T.J. Mitchell and Hampton with the extra point. They tie the game at 20.
Well, you couldn't have predicted those turn of events because Grambling had done such a good job of taking care of the football and moving it. Hampton hadn't yet. Grambling, gamble. That's a difficult tongue twister. And they give up the football. But Hampton, who has not been able to produce anything in the second half, comes up with the big score when they need it from the young T.J. Mitchell. That's just awesome. He's got to be very proud of what he's done today, stepping in for a guy like that. Princeton Shepherd goes down with cramps and making a big-time throw on national TV. What an opportunity.
All right, we're back to live action. Pass is complete to Clyde Edwards, who's able to get out of bounds after a pickup of 8. It's Alvin Bannister on the coverage. Grambling State still with 1 timeout remaining. Their field goal situation, not the best in the world.
Yeah, I don't know if they would even want to go there right now, even if they got 15 or 20 yards, because we saw earlier, we've seen so many kicks blocked. PATs, balls just haven't been getting off the ground. I don't know if it has to do with the steel turf that's on the ground, the longer artificial grass with the beads of rubber in there, that's affecting the kickers. But it hasn't been a very productive day in that sense for either side of the football.
Eldred Bridget in motion. Blitz is on. One-on-one coverage on the outside. Incomplete. Almost picking off that ball was Tremars Bain.
Well, Landers does a good job of throwing it as tight to the boundary as he can, so he knows that even if the defender gets his hands on it, even if he would have been able to lock onto that football, that it still wouldn't have counted because he couldn't have kept his feet in. It was a good throw. They need to take a shot like that. Now we're in 3rd and short. They got 16 seconds on the clock. What do? You go for the first down, get another shot deep. I think that's the logical choice, but then again, when we talked earlier about logical choices, he went the other way.
3rd down and 2. Landers has a man. Incomplete. Tolbert drops the football. That'll bring up a 4th down and 2. Big mistake. The senior from right here in Birmingham normally catches that ball and picks up a lot of yards after the catch.
Well, we saw him do that earlier in the ball game, and he told us himself he is the most dangerous after the catch. And I think he's just getting a hair ahead of himself without securing the football first before he thinks about running the football.
In case you're wondering, this would be a 54-yard field goal from here. You saw Tim Manuel. His career long is 47. I don't think that really was an idea at all for Melvin Spears. They're going to go for it on 4th and 2. Landers gets the first down. They have a timeout, which they haven't used yet. Clock stops after the first down, and they reset the ball.
They're going to...
Looks like they want to spike it. They're going to
spike it, which really doesn't serve a purpose because you're only going to have 1 play left either way if you call a timeout or not. So.
Landers spikes it. Clock doesn't move it away. They move it down to 1 second remaining. So 7 seconds remaining in this game.
Well,
Grambling State.
They still have an opportunity here to get a nice completion in the middle of the field and kill that clock and put on their boy Tim Manuel and take their shot. I have never been a proponent of putting an entire game in the hands of a kicker. Now, if it's Adam Vinatieri, how we won our Super Bowl, oh, sure, no problem. But it's asking a lot of a guy who doesn't do much during the week, during the game, and all of a sudden, hey, buddy, you go out there and win this one for us. I'm not a big proponent of that. And granted, if it was on the other side of the football and you had Patarini, who's a little more of a proven kicker, maybe, but who knows? Knowing Melvin Spears, we're going to get to the end zone here a couple of times.
Yeah, this would be a 52-yarder from here. I guess Grambling State, they like the opportunity We'll play from scrimmage a little bit better. Landon. Pass is complete. Getting out of bounds is Edwards. And they're going to stop the clock with 1 second remaining. And now maybe you bring the field goal team in.
Here he comes.
This would be a 44-yarder. This is possibly makeable for Manual. And they still have a timeout remaining, so they can gather and make sure everyone's on the same page. And they call that timeout, so neither team can stop the clock anymore in regulation. Oh, no more time in regulation. 1 second remaining.
47 yards, his career long at Alabama State. Last year, 50%, as Eric was sharing earlier, 6 for 12. He had 0 attempts at 50 plus. He was 2 for 3 from 40 to 49. Now that's a little, let's take a note there because that's 66%. Now my only thought right here is, as we saw earlier, that not only can it get blocked, but the ball is live. And if the ball gets blocked, Hampton could have an opportunity to take it back and win this ball game in a spectacular fashion.
All right, folks, it comes down to this. Tim Manuel on for a 44-yard field goal attempt and to win this game. No good. Wide left. Overtime. How about that? 60 minutes of good football, and we'll have some more. Overtime here at the second Ford MEAC SWAC Challenge. When we come back, we will settle it on the field.
You know what I like about tennis are the rankings. I like to know exactly where you stand at all times.
Yeah, it works for us.
Yeah. Hey, if they rank SportsCenter anchors, where do you think I'd be ranked?
I don't know.
Come on.
Nah, I'd rather not get into it.
Come on, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Well, I'm not sure you'll be in the top 10.
I'm in the top 10, Roger.
What's that? Rabbit food? Business casual slacks? Chintz pillows? No more. Time to be a man again. And it starts in the shower. This gets you clean.
And it doesn't dry your skin.
Not dry. Nice.
And it looks like an oil can.
New Dial for Men body wash. Be a man. Take back the shower.
We had a blue-collar fighting spirit, and that helped us develop the Penn State soccer program into what it is today. We weren't necessarily the most talented team in the country. We just worked really hard. The never-give-up attitude that the coach instilled in us helped me prepare to play for the U.S. Women's National Team. I'm Christy Welsh, and that's my Big Ten story.
Celebrating women's athletics and 25 years of Big Ten women's championships. The story continues.
Bottom of the hour here on ESPN2. There's Joe Paterno.
Designed to captivate. Designed to illuminate. The luxury sedan designed to outperform. The M from Infiniti.
We've been appearing in your living room for more than 4 years now, making magic for our viewers nationwide.
If you haven't seen us yet, now it's time to join in on the magic.
What's the magic, you ask? We make high prices for fine art vanish. You can now own the world's finest art at prices you won't believe. We always have the most bargains and the most fun. Every Friday and Saturday night, right here on Fine Art Treasures.
Join the fun Fridays starting at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Channel 341.
Don't miss us.
AA. Coin toss, choice of the field. We're going to start on the left-hand side of the field. Each team gets one possession from the opponent's 25-yard line until a winner is decided. Clock is off. Play clock only. Teams must go for a two-point conversion, starting with the third overtime. So Hampton, they have the ball on the 25-yard line. The youngster, T.J. Mitchell, wants McDaniel incomplete.
Well, overtime is a very tricky situation because you don't want to get ahead of yourself as a coordinator thinking that we have to put points on the board. And it doesn't even matter if you're the second possession team and they already have points up. You just need to stay with what works for you, what's gotten you here, and be patient. I think we saw they're just trying to take a shot early, see if they could get it out of the way quickly with a little hesitation route, a little fade route, if you will, down the boundary.
Dan Morgan in the game. He's got the football. And Morgan, a good run on second down. Gets the first down and then some. Gets inside the 10-yard line. Just what the doctor ordered for the Hampton Pirates.
Well, I think we see a good job of Van with his patience. We see the big fullback out front, Curtis Lewis, but he stays behind his blockers, manipulates his way down the football field, and takes what the defense gives him.
First down and goal. Morgan again, a huge hole. He runs right through it, gets to the 3. Ryan Langford cut his feet out from under him, but not before he gets the Hamptons close to the goal line.
Well, I think we have to give kudos to those young guys up front. Terrence Smith, Akeem Lamar, Justin Gary, Dennis Conley, those guys up front who are leading the way for these guys, these inexperienced linemen who are really digging down deep because they're tired, folks. They're ready to go home. But this win means more to them than that.
Kevin Beverly into the game now, and a flag before the ball is snapped.
Substitution. Defense.
Another self-inflicted problem for Melvin Spears and Grambling State. Substitution issue there. That's going to move it ever closer to the goal line for the Pirates. Ball's now inside the 2. In the backfield, Beverly is brought down by Dimitri Carr. Dimitri Carr has been phenomenal this afternoon.
Well, he stepped up when he's needed to. This is another opportunity. He does the same thing he did earlier on that 4th down play, where the defensive coordinator, Luther Palmer, sends him in the A-gap. Big guy like him, 232 pounds of all man, and it shuts him down. But they got to have 2 more stops here to give themselves a chance.
3rd down and goal. Ball now on the 6-yard line. And a penalty again before the ball is snapped. And this is disastrous if it goes against Hampton.
Well, it's taking that short field we talked about earlier.
Of the offense. 5-yard penalty.
And making it more difficult.
Well, just so we're on the same page, they'd love to get a touchdown.
Right.
But it's not the worst thing in the world they settle for a field goal.
And when you look at those 2 kickers that we've had today, with Patarini for Hampton, the All-American, you have to give him the nod right now. But certainly, you, as an offensive coordinator, I'm sure Chris Beatty is not sitting there thinking field goal.
3rd and goal. Mitchell has his man. Touchdown, Beverly. Wow. After the full-on retreat, Joe Taylor's bunch able to circle the wagons and get themselves a touchdown.
Well, I think here you just have to tip your hat to Coach Taylor, Chris Beatty, the new offensive coordinator, who has come in and taken this high school offense that he has and applied it to the collegiate level and had a lull period in this game where they couldn't get anything working. But yet they have come back and tied this ball game and now have gone up 7 points with that extra point in overtime. They have advantage, Hampton, without question. Great job offensively. And this young kid, T.J. Mitchell, what a fantastic day for him to be able to come out and do big time, play big time college football on a big time college stage.
Mitchell, 2 touchdowns in his last 3 possessions. Has it been enough to give Hampton the win? We shall find out. Grambling State, they have one last crack at it when we come back.
When it comes to being a better football fan, nothing beats Sprint NFL Mobile. You can watch exclusive game highlights of all your favorite players, like Peyton Manning. That guy's pretty good, if you like 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser, rocket arm. With NFL Mobile only from Sprint, you get customizable alerts and real-time stats on your favorite team. Maybe like Peyton Manning's team, maybe.
Get the power of the NFL in your hand, only with Sprint.
Hey guys, look at this. With Sprint's new fair and flexible family plan, unlimited night calling starts at 7 p.m. Isn't that great?
Honey, you are so clever.
Oh.
You're the best dad in the world, Dad.
I love you, Dad. Oh. So, I'll take the plan. Thanks for letting me use Sprint's practice family.
Glad to help.
I'm gonna take lunch now.
Unlimited calling starts at 7 with fair and flexible, giving your family the power to talk for 2 more hours. Sprint. Power up.
Brian Kenny here in our studios. Let's get you back to Virginia Tech and Northeastern. Here's Brandon Orr, who's having a tremendous offensive game. Over 50 yards rushing, over 80 yards in the air. Look at this 55-yard touchdown catch and run. Brandon Orr makes it 28-0. And remember, coming up, Penn State and Akron, Paul Posluszny on the field. We're getting ready. As soon as this one is done in overtime, the 11-1 Nittany Lions take the field to open it up.
T.J. Mitchell orchestrating a touchdown. 3rd down and goal from the 10-yard line, and he finds a man in Kevin Beverly for the touchdown.
Well, TJ does a great job of finding the underneath receiver. He uses the 2 wide receivers out wide, Beatty, the coordinator, to clear them out and just sends him into the flats wide open. Grambling was in a zone defense, just backing out, playing conservative, and Mitchell does a great job of finding him, and even a better job by getting that football into the end zone to put him up by 6. Look at the reaction with those guys. Are they fired up or what? This guy's first ball game in the collegiate level. 32-year-old offensive coordinator.
Kevin Beverly, the touchdown. He and Van Morgan have combined for 119 total yards of offense in the second half, replacing Alonzo Coleman. With the football, Clyde Edwards tries the right side, and Edwards picks up 3. A whole lot of movement there on that play for just a 3-yard gain.
Well, we see Grambling trying to do exactly what Hampton tried to do. They tried the big play early, the first play out the box, to see if it would work. And we look at Clyde Edwards on the reverse, doing a good job of getting some yardage. Could have used another block or 2 there to maybe spring him positive yardage. That's what you need.
Brandon Landers in the shotgun. Wants to throw right side. Almost intercepted. That would have ended the ball game. Pat Preston had it go through the wickets.
Well, I think Landers does a good job of unloading the football. They brought 5 guys. It was not a great decision because of the play by the cornerback getting underneath him. But I think you have to tip your hat as well to this kid as well. The week that he's had, the unbelievable events that unfolded 8 days ago, and come out to play like he has.
3rd and 7. Pass is complete. That's Henry Tolbert for the first down. And just tuned in. Very difficult week for Brandon Landers. Just 8 days ago, after attending a high school football game, his brother Frank Landers was shot and killed. 18 years of age. Brandon was actually with him when Frank was shot and drove him to the emergency room where police say Landers was dead by the time he got to the hospital.
And this kid has not missed a snap, has not missed a practice, and is coming back from not a stellar performance to really play some good football.
Pass is complete. Touchdown. Pending the extra point, we're going to be all tied up again. Tim Abney with the 6. 12-yard touchdown.
Well, that's just beautiful patience. Landers is actually being able to sit into the pocket. Earlier in the game, he was running for his life. They obviously on the Grambling side have figured out what they were trying to do, and up front, those linemen have started to gel as this game has gone on and giving him a pocket to throw in.
Crucial extra point. Manuel needs to make it to keep this game alive. He's already missed 1 today. Oh! blocked. That'll do it. How about that? The second missed extra point gives the Ford MEAC SWAC challenge to the Hampton Pirates.
Wow. Well, you hate to see a great ball game come down to a block like that, but you know, you have to give credit to Hampton. Those things just do not happen. They made them happen.
Missed opportunities for Grambling. They had 2 blocked extra points, and they had a blocked field goal, and they will lose this Ford MEAC challenge. And for the second consecutive year, the MEAC comes out on top of the SWAC.
Well, just what a great showcase for these young men to be on national TV. I can remember when I was playing, it didn't matter what station. When you're on national TV, you know it, and you want to seize the moment. I think we've seen several characters today who have stepped up and done a great job. T.J. Mitchell, the young quarterback, Brandon Landers on the other side of the football with all that he's had to deal with. What a fantastic day. Young Chris Beatty, the offensive coordinator. Kudos to both of these teams. What a fabulous afternoon of football.
Well, we sure hope you enjoyed it. It has been a fantastic afternoon of football. The Ford MEAC SWAC Championship goes to the Hampton Pirates. For my partner, Brian Kinching, and our sideline guy, Jay Walker, I'm Eric Collins saying so long. Now let's send you out to State College, Pennsylvania, where Akron is taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Good job.